Chapter 1. Gangnam City Pokémon High School. In the spacious and bright classroom, a dignified and cool teacher is standing on the podium. Vermilion lips parted slightly, and said slowly, "Charmander, one of the 3 imperial families, the most important thing to pay attention to when raising a Charmander is the temperature of the environment." Zhu Qin, the head teacher of Class 1 in the 3rd year of high school, is also the object of dreams and fantasies of countless adolescent boys. With a cold and delicate face, a pair of gold-rimmed glasses on the bridge of the nose, and a smile full of charm. The corseted teacher's uniform, combined with Shang Zuoken's curvy and hot figure, attracted the attention of all the boys in the class. Window seat, a boy looked out the window at the playground, and the breeze gently blew the hair on the boy's temples. The handsome face of a young man was revealed, but there was a lingering sadness between his brows. Lin Mo, 18 years old. Gender male, interested in female, so far single. 18 years ago, he traveled from Blue Star to this world where Pokémon and humans live together. Thousands of years ago, a secret land descended. Pokémon appear from the secret realm, with all kinds of strange abilities comparable to natural disasters. Some can burn the entire earth like the Golden Crow normal in mythology. Some can easily set off a tsunami and change the weather. Therefore, Pokémon at that time was also called Warcraft. Over time, in order to survive and develop, human beings began to slowly come into contact with monsters. A chance, humans have discovered that not all monsters are so powerful that they can easily cause natural disasters. Advertisement weak monsters also have special abilities, and can easily understand what humans want to express. It is also more friendly to humans and can be domesticated. Thereafter, they have a new name Pokémon, and the identity of Pokémon trainer has also emerged. Ever since then, traces of Pokémon began to appear on a large scale in human history. Pokémon has become an integral part of the history of human development. When the first Emperor Yingzheng came to the throne, the dominance of the world was recognized by soaring in the sky totem Rayquaza, which gave the first emperor the strength to easily wipe out the 6 kingdoms. A little beggar sympathizes with the common people in the world suffering from the flames of war, and is determined to calm down the benevolence of the world, making him the rainbow hero in Legendary. Endorsed by Ho-Oh. Later, that little beggar founded the most prosperous dynasty at that time. There is also Wang Mang, who was jokingly called the Traverser by later generations, and is speculated by current Pokémon scientists. He is most likely recognized by Dialga, the time-controlling Pokémon in Legendary. Since Pokémon appeared in the history books, the harmonious relationship between humans and Pokémon has continued to this day. The level of trainer has also been more clearly divided. The order from low to high is amateur, professional, elite, gym, quasi-elite, elite, champion. Of course, before becoming a trainer, you need to go through a long novice journey. Normal circumstances, during the second half of high school, students who would like to become trainers will have their first chance to legally own Pokémon. Buy a young Pokémon or a Pokémon egg from the breeding house. Compared with wild Pokémon, the Pokémon in the breeding house have been carefully selected and have certain qualifications. So each one is expensive. Among the Uzangia in each region, the cheapest starts at 1 million. Advertisement, and according to the level of qualifications, the price is also different. A Charmander with quasi-elite qualification may be able to sell for a high price of 10 to 20 million. As for the championship qualification, it is priceless, strictly controlled by the Alliance, it will basically not appear on the market. Of course, Alliance is taking care of some trainers with dreams. Many common Pokémon are also bred in the breeding house, such as Caterpie, Rattata and other Pokémon. Naturally, the price is much more affordable than Uzangia, and you can buy it for only about 40,000 to 50,000. If you don't even have this money, then congratulations, you basically missed the career of Pokémon trainer. Unfortunately, Lin Mo belongs to the second type. He can't even get tens of thousands of Alliance coins. He is basically a person who has no chance of being a Pokémon trainer. To be precise, it is difficult for him to even guarantee his own life, let alone being a Pokémon trainer. Because Lin Mo is an orphan and grew up in a welfare institution. He has already wiped out the savings he earned working as a child so that he can attend Pokémon middle school. Not to mention buying a Uzangia, even if it is the cheapest Rattata, it is impossible for Lin Mo to afford it. Certainly, it's not entirely impossible for Lin Mo to become a Pokémon trainer, either. Since he stepped into the gate of Pokémon middle school, he has already thought about his future. Alliance does not have hard and fast rules. Every novice trainer must purchase the Earl Dervish Pokémon in the breeder. New book set sale, ask for flowers, comments, and monthly tickets. Advertisement. Chapter 2. After all, Pokémon are also capable of artificial breeders. Many second generations of big families in Alliance use Pokémon prepared at home. As long as it is not poaching, Alliance basically doesn't care about the origin of your first Pokémon. In other words, you can also go wild and fetch. However, this method is basically not chosen by anyone. Pokémon in the wild are difficult to domesticate and have a strong sense of territory. Common people will risk their lives if they enter rashly. And basically the Pokémon with good qualifications are all in the secret realm. The poor Pokémon are not well qualified. If there is no other way, normal people will not choose this method. Because it is very likely that the Pokémon caught at the risk of life is far less qualified than the Rattata in the breeder house. But Lin Mo only needs to assist an easy-to-catch wild Pokémon, and help him through the rough start. After several months of deliberation, Lin Mo has determined the goal. Weedle. He's going to abduct a Weedle. Pokémon like Weedle are basically everywhere. Generally poor qualifications, it is basically impossible to exceed the potential of the elite level. Also, they don't have much attack power. Just be careful not to be attacked by Weedle's venom. Then there is no threat, and it is easy to capture. And the bug-type Pokémon breeder is the fastest of all attribute Pokémon. Weedle only needs 10 levels to evolve into Beedrill. In this way, Lin Mo can rely on Beedrill to pass the stage of rookie trainer and complete the relevant assessments required to enter the secret realm. At that time, it will not be far away to get the qualification to enter the secret realm. Mystery. That is the place every trainer yearns for. Advertisement, rares, Pokémon, props, and endless opportunities are all in the mystery. While Lin Mo was imagining the future, a cold system prompt sounded suddenly in his mind, interrupting Lin Mo's fantasy. Ding! It is detected that the host has come to the Pokémon world, and the emotional lottery system has been activated. Lin Mo. Lin Mo's face was complicated. I have already traveled through 18 years, brother, is your system awakening too slowly? However, something is better than nothing. Just when the system was awakened, Lin Mo already knew how to use the system. Emotional lottery system, as long as you let others have negative emotions, you can draw a lottery yourself. There are 5 prize pools, and the order from high to low is S, A, B, C, D. There is no upper limit to the number of draws, as long as it is enough. Even the alpaca that can draw the slate, but the probability of that is estimated to be 1 in a few trillion. According to his own luck, Lin Mo reckons that he is unlikely to win the lottery in his life. The worst reward, that is, thank you for participating, is the system's emotional value for nothing. The higher the level, the higher the probability of appearing advanced items. At the same time, every 10 draws will have a guarantee for the lower prize pool. D-level prize pool, there is no lower prize pool, so there is no guarantee. For example, 10 draws of C, all thanks for participating, the system will give at least 1 D-level item as a gift. Anyway, it's a bit of a conscience. It's just that the price makes Lin Mo feel a little black-hearted. It takes 100 negative emotion points to draw D-level once, C-level needs 1000, B-level 10,000, and so on. Every time a level rises, the emotional value required is 10 times that of the previous one. This system has a bit of conscience, but definitely not much. Lin Mo mentally added silently. It's really good to give a guarantee. But when Lin Mo saw the price, Lin Mo immediately felt that it was not good. Just when Lin Mo was still dreaming. At this time, advertisement, a piece of chalk suddenly flew down from the podium, drawing a graceful arc in the air. Right between Lin Mo's eyebrows. After eating the pain, Lin Mo quickly looked up. The head teacher, Zhu Qin, was looking at herself with a fierce look in her eyes. Lin Mo, why are you in a daze in class? Contrary to her hot body, Zhu Qin's voice is very cold. They have all reached the final sprint stage of the 3rd year of high school. Lin Mo dared to desert her, which made her a little angry. Tell me, if the family is not good, which one is more suitable for rookie compared to the first generation of Yuuzhanjia? Zhu Qin's pointer lightly tapped on the blackboard, and there happened to be 3 pictures of Pokémon on the blackboard. It is the first generation of royal family, Charmander, Squirtle, Bulbasaur. Lin Mo looked at the blackboard, feeling a little speechless in his heart. You can afford to buy Yuuzhanjia, you tell me that the family is not good? If the family is not good, just like me to catch Weedle. A hole. Come to think of myself right now, I don't even have the money to buy a Weedle in a feeder house. There was a grudge in Lin Mo's heart. Host negative emotion value +10, +10. After hearing the system beep, Lin Mo was taken aback immediately, and A was slowly typed in his mind. Good guy, I didn't expect that I would be self-sufficient when I opened my own business. Do you have a card bug? Organize your mind. Lin Mo glanced at the blackboard, then seriously said, 3 Pokémon are not very suitable for people from poor families. But if you have to choose, I think Garlic BD should be more appropriate. Advertisement. Chapter 3. Lin Mo's voice echoed clearly in the classroom. Everyone in the class stared suspiciously at Lin Mo's handsome face. Someone nearby whispered, what did Lin Mo just say? Is there this Pokémon in Yuzan's house? Is this the name of a Pokémon? Garlic, BD. Zhu Qinde frowned slightly, wondering whether her ears had heard it wrong. Lin Mo, what did you just say? Say it again. Lin Mo's eyes were clear, but there was a wicked smirk on the corner of his mouth, and he repeated it. Garlic BD. My heart is happy, isn't this beautiful head teacher looking for performance for herself? I'm afraid that the students may not hear clearly, allow yourself to do it all over again. Flat voice, clearly spread to every corner of the classroom. The students followed Lin Mo's gaze, and just saw Bulbasaur with a naive look on the blackboard. In an instant, the entire classroom fell silent, and the air seemed to freeze. At this time, even people with slow brains can understand what the garlic in Lin Mo's mouth is. Next second, countless sounds of rage and laughter exploded in the classroom like thunder. God damn it! That's Bulbasaur! Yeah! My Bulbasaur is so cute! You're a BD! Pfft! How can you tell me to look directly at Bulbasaur in the future? One thing to say, don't say it, it's really similar. When they first heard those 4 words, they were still puzzled. But after bringing Garlic BD into Bulbasaur, they seem to find that what Lin Mo said really makes sense. Lin Mo's description is like the bone-eating curse normal engraved in their minds, and the 3 views are completely destroyed. Get Li Gang's negative emotion value +10. Get Ma Teng's negative emotion value +10. Get Zhu Qin's negative emotion value +20. Advertisement. The system beeps are endless. Lin Mo's heart was already full of joy, and he almost laughed out loud. If it weren't for Zhu Qin's eyes that were as cold as killing people, maybe Lin Mo would really laugh out loud because of it. Not only Zukin, many students in the classroom also showed the same kind of eyes. If eyes can kill people, Lin Mo has died countless times. They all choose Bulbasaur and have arrived irreplaceable. Most of them are not wealthy. It's just that parents want their children to become dragons. At the same time, Alliance also has preferential policies. As long as parents help their children pay to Alliance from an early age, 10,000 Alliance coins per month, until the child reaches adulthood, pay 1.8 million Alliance coins. When the child reaches the age of 18, he will receive a Yuuzhanjia from Alliance as his own Earl Dervish Pokémon. These Pokémon are carefully breeded by Alliance. Each of them can be easily sold for a high price of 2 to 3 million when placed in a breeding house. Of course, thanks to this policy, many students in Lin Mo's class got their own Earl Dervish Pokémon before completing the school assessment. Although it can't be officially conquered yet, at least it can get in touch with Pokémon in advance and cultivate partnerships. Can now. The precious Yuuzhanjia they spent a lot of money on, and the highly recommended Bulbasaur. To be called a garlic crap by Lin Mo? Blackboard, the image of Bulbasaur suddenly became strange. Looking at Bulbasaur's naive smile, everyone faintly felt that there was a trace of ghost animal. There are even quite a few people who nodded slightly. It seems that the heart is agreeing with what Lin Mo said. Just when everyone was frantically contributing emotional value to Lin Mo, a soft shout came from the podium. Lin Mo! What the hell are you talking about? Cold sharp voice. The corners of Lin Mo's grinning mouth quickly returned to normal. Lin Mo trembled all over and looked towards the podium. At this time, Zhu Qin was glaring at him. The chest that could not be covered by the loose teacher's uniform was heaving, which attracted many people's attention. Of course Zhu Qin didn't notice this, gritting his silver teeth, his eyes were fixed on Lin Mo pretending to be fierce. Advertisement. Of course she knew what Lin Mo was talking about was Bulbasaur. This answer is correct. If the family is not well off, the grass-type Bulbasaur is indeed the best choice. But what kind of strange name is the garlic BD that Lin Mo answered? This made her look directly at the head of garlic in the future. Wrong, how to look directly at Bulbasaur? Lin Mo doesn't need to look at Zhu Qin's eyes that are about to kill someone, just look at the magnificent ups and downs on Zhu Qin's chest. She must have contributed a lot of emotional value to herself. Lin Mo felt guilty and hesitated whether to continue like this. At this time, two villains appeared in his heart, one black and one white. A villain from black leaned into Lin Mo's ear and said, "Hurry up and make some quick news, maybe there will be 10 consecutive draws today." White's villain leaned into Lin Mo's other ear and said, "He's right." Suddenly, Lin Mo's hesitation dissipated, there is no way everything is for life. He could only say "I'm sorry" to Zhu Qin secretly in his heart. Then he looked at Zhu Qin sincerely and said seriously, "Isn't it? Isn't it like ABD carrying garlic, talking?" Lin Mo also took out a raw garlic from his pocket and put it in his hand to show it to everyone. The piece of raw garlic is very tender, the skin is a little green, the top is pointed and the bottom is round and full. Not to mention, this garlic is really similar to the seeds carried by Bulbasaur on the blackboard. For a moment, the entire classroom was full of whimpers suppressed from crying and gasps suppressed from anger. Get Yang Hong's negative emotion value plus 10. Gain Xiao Sugong's negative emotion value plus 20. At the same time, the corners of Zhu Qin's mouth twitched on the podium. The last time I was so speechless was the last time. What the hell are you doing here with garlic in class? Who the hell has garlic in their pockets in class? Do you take garlic as a snack? Now she just wants to know where Lin Mo got the garlic. Lin Mo, who told you to carry garlic in class? And where did you get this garlic? Zhu Qin's angry voice came, and Dai Mei frowned tightly, as if she wanted to swallow Lin Mo advertisement. Chapter 4. I saw the case that was not shown today. It just so happened that there was garlic growing in the flower bed of the school and no one wanted it, so I just took it. Get negative emotion value plus 50 from Zhu Qin, god damn it, no one wants it. That was planted by the principal. Just as Zhu Qin was about to get angry, Lin Mo also saw something bad at this moment. And hastily remedied, "Teacher, I just want to show everyone why it is called Suunta BD." At the same time, he tried his best to open his eyes wide to look at Zhu Qin, and blinked a few times. It's a pity that due to the lack of superb acting skills, I squeezed for a long time without leaving a single tear. In the end, he could only scratch his head in embarrassment. When Zhu Qin heard the words garlic BD appear again in Lin Mo's mouth, veins in the shape of a well immediately appeared on his temples. Almost roaring and roaring out, "Listen to me Lin Mo. It's called Bulbasaur. It's a frog. It's not a turtle." The buttons on the chest were even broken in two because of the violent vibration of the waves. The snow-white skin on the chest and the looming lace pattern are exposed. Even if you stand on tiptoe, you can still see the full arc in the middle. Don't ask Lin Mo how he knows, people are not allowed to stand on tiptoe after standing for a long time. Just ask, which young man with a strong blood can stand this kind of test? It was also because of being PD off by Lin Mo for a long time, Zhu Qin didn't notice the secret leak of spring on her chest. He waved his hand towards Lin Mo, who was a little dazed, and said, "Lin Mo. Where are you looking? Did you hear what I said, and took teacher's words as fart? How did you do it?" "What?" Lin Mo came back to his senses in a daze, looked at Zhu Qin, and immediately realized something. Hastily changing her clear eyes, she kindly reminded Zhu Qin, "Advertisement teacher, you dropped the buttons." "Ha!" Zhu Qin was stunned for a while, and seemed to feel the envious eyes of the boys and girls in the class. With the sound of swallowing saliva all around, Zhu Qin immediately realized something. Then he immediately turned his back and straightened his clothes, as if lash out normal, he said through gritted teeth, "You don't need to remind me. Although the stubborn appearance is really handsome, but the appearance of bending over and bowing his head to pick up buttons is really embarrassing." Zhu Qin seemed to be angry with normal, and silently picked up the button that fell on the floor and put it back in his pocket. As if nothing happened, he continued to teach Lin Mo, "Did I hear you just now? Bulbasaur is a frog, not a turtle." Lin Mo showed a look of sudden realization, and nodded seriously. "So that's the case, thank you teacher for correcting me." After returning to the podium again, Zhu Qin's mood calmed down a little. Although Lin Mo used poor words, at least his answer was correct and his attitude was correct. "Sit down, Lin Mo, remember, you must be careful with your words in the future and don't talk nonsense. Lin Mo nodded, and then seemed to think of something. Indeed, my own words seem to be not very rigorous. After all, as the saying goes, a trainer who is not rigorous must not be a good trainer. Bing's scientific truth-seeking, serious and rigorous attitude. Lin Mo's that just touched the seat lifted up again. Seriously said, "Teacher, you are right. It is a frog, not a turtle. So in order to maintain a rigorous and accurate scientific attitude, we should call it garlic toad." The voice fell, and the audience fell into silence again. As the saying goes, the words are not amazing and endless. Advertisement if the other students were only angry at what Lin Mo said just now. At this moment, they were completely devastated by Lin Mo's words. Especially those students who chose Bulbasaur as Earl Dervish Pokémon must feel like killing Lin Mo now. Unfortunately, this was in class, and they could only cast resentful glances at Lin Mo. Gain Yang Xiaogong's negative emotion value plus 30. Gain Guo Zhong's negative emotion value plus 40. Get Li Da's negative emotion value plus 50. A large number of system prompts appeared before Lin Mo's eyes. He didn't even have to turn his head, he could feel the maliciousness around him. If the look could kill, he might have died 10,000 times. Zhu Qin's delicate face was also covered with black lines, and her black eyebrows suddenly frowned. The temperature of the air in the entire classroom seemed to drop a few degrees. Then the roar of the Hedong lion resounded throughout the school. "Lin Mo! Get the hell out of me and stand in the corridor for punishment." Under such sound waves, Pidgeotto and Pidgey outside the window were frightened for a while, and quickly flew away from the branches. Lin Mo was also taken aback by the sudden roar, and his head was buzzing. Not daring to say anything more, I honestly took my textbook and walked out of the classroom quickly. But seeing what he gained from this class, Lin Mo burst out laughing. Negative emotion value, 4,250 points. This is a full 40 consecutive draws. Before Lin Mo had time to be happy, the next notification sound from the system made him fall into an ice cave. Get negative emotion value plus 50 from Zhu Qin. Looking up, Lin Mo saw the colorful black of 7 colored for the first time. Shut up hastily, and moved a few steps away from the classroom door. Advertisement. Chapter 5. Jingle Bell. The crisp bell rang, and the last class was over. Lin Mo turned his hands into fists and hit his numb thigh. Because it was Zhu Qin's continuous class, Lin Mo stood for 2 full classes. He now feels that his thigh has lost feeling as if it is about to fail. With the sound of farewell in the classroom. "Goodbye, teacher." Lin Mo heaved a sigh of relief, hurriedly walked back to the classroom with his numb legs. Lin Mo just wanted to take out the garlic in his pocket to make some extra money, but he bumped into Zhu Qin head-on. Zhu Qin's eyes were wide open, with a trace of sullenness in her eyes, looking at the garlic in Lin Mo's hand. The anger that had just subsided surges and surges into my heart again. Lin Mo glanced at Zhu Qin's exquisite face with a trace of anger, and then looked at the garlic in his hand. Get the negative value emotion plus 50 from Zhu Qin. The handsome face immediately turned into a bitter melon color, and he hastily opened his mouth to defend. "Old teacher, this, I can explain this." There was only one cold and meaningful sentence to greet him. "Okay. Lin Mo, come to teacher's office later and explain to me." After finishing speaking, Zhu Qin seemed to have pulled back a victory, and walked slowly towards the office with her head held high and her chest held high in high heels. Only Lin Mo left a beautiful back. Obtain negative emotion value plus 20 from Lin Mo. Hearing his own system prompt, Lin Mo couldn't be happier anymore. He sighed helplessly, wanting to cry without tears. "I haven't earned extra money yet, so why was I arrested?" At the same time, everyone in the classroom saw this scene in their eyes. Seeing Lin Mo's frowning face, everyone felt a burst of relief. This guy Lin Mo is really messed up, and he wants to use garlic to disgust people. I don't know who said this in the classroom, and the students who chose the Earl Dervish Pokémon in Bulbasaur looked at this classmate with murderous eyes. Obtained from Li's Heshan's negative emotion value plus 20. Obtain negative emotion value plus 30 from Yuan Hong Ai. Obtain negative emotion value plus 40 from Yang Dakang. Well, in a sense. Advertisement Lin Mo's extra money can be regarded as earned, but Lin Mo is not in the mood to care about it at this time. He just wants to sit for a while now, and then go to the office to be scolded by Zhu Qin Ai. But just as he sat down, a figure suddenly appeared in front of Lin Mo. "Lin Mo, you are miserable now, wait to be scolded." Lin Mo raised his eyes and looked, with a thoughtful look on his face, and then said with some doubts, that, "May I ask who you are?" The student who was asked had a condensed smile on his face, and there seemed to be a little shock in his eyes. What kind of person doesn't know his classmates after studying for 3 years? Obtained from Zhu Dagong's negative emotion value plus 20. However, Zhu Dagong glanced at Lin Mo in front of him, and then realized that Lin Mo was deliberately angry with himself. Pushed the black-rimmed glasses and continued, "Zhu Dagong, you don't know me, do you?" After hearing the name Zhu Dagong, Lin Mo showed a look of sudden realization. "Oh. It's the one who took the exam behind me, but cried and told me that he must do better than me next time." Obtained from Zhu Dagong's negative emotion value plus 20. Lin Mo originally wanted to rest quietly for a while before going to the office, but at this time, if someone wants to get negative points for himself, he doesn't mind very much. After all, no matter how small a mosquito's legs are, it's still meat. Zhu Dagong stood in front of Lin Mo with a gloomy expression on his face. "This is all a matter of freshman year in high school, what's the point of saying it now? Besides, it's only 1 point away. Why do you say that?" Zhu Dagong said with some embarrassment. Obviously Lin Mo's words hit his sore spot. "From the first year of high school to the third year of high school, you haven't passed the Lin Mo exam." This is the students sitting on the side chiming in, and there are constant echoes from around. Compared to Lin Mo, Zhu Dagong is even less popular with his classmates. Although he is the top student in the class, he likes to make small reports and often shows off his grades. It made many students feel disgusted, but Lin Mo, although Bulbasaur was given the title of Garlic BD, he has a reason. Moreover, many students in the class chose Squirtle and Charmander. At this time, it is natural to speak up for Lin Mo. However, Zhu Dagong didn't pay attention to this classmate. Instead, he said loudly to the people around him, "Hat. What's the use of you helping him? Wouldn't it be miserable for him to be interviewed later?" The students present all closed their mouths tacitly and remained silent. Advertisement. Zhu Dagong is right. This world is different from the previous life, and teacher has a lot of power. Ability to determine whether a student is eligible to become a trainer. Strict and rigorous, also in line with the environment of the Pokémon world. All the students present hope to become a trainer, so steps such as college exams, tutor evaluations, etc. must be indispensable. If there is a problem with any of them, Alliance will not recognize their trainer status. This shows how powerful the teacher is in this world. Now, combined with Lin Mo's previous performance in class, he was interviewed by Zhu Qin. It is enough to explain the seriousness of the problem. Everyone looked at Lin Mo with pity on their faces, but they saw Lin Mo's relaxed face, and he didn't seem to care at all. He also asked Zhu Dagong, "It's miserable? Why is it miserable?" Zhu Dagong was taken aback by such a simple question. He thought Lin Mo would fight back viciously, but he didn't expect it to be this problem. Zhu Dagong was also dumbfounded. Lin Mo's answer really exceeded his expectations. He asked in a daze, "Isn't it miserable to be interviewed?" Appointment. Lin Mo frowned slightly, rubbing his chin thoughtfully. Then he seemed to understand something and suddenly realized, this is the after-school tutoring for young teachers and top students in the movie Samurai Kingdom, right? Everyone present turned pale with shock. All the male students without exception had their mouths wide open, and their eyeballs were about to fall out. They have all watched this movie, and even because the content is too exciting, several of them nestled in bed to watch it together. The content is about a young female teacher and a top student in high school, a wonderful adventure after class. Some girls were still a little confused and didn't understand, but some girls who understood were blushing. Spit Lin Mo secretly. Obtain negative emotion value plus 20 from Zhang Xiaoxian. Obtained from Zhao Tang's negative emotion value plus 30. Obtained from Li Saiken's negative emotion value plus 40. At this time, Lin Mo was also taken aback when he heard the notification sound in his mind. Turning my head to look, there were indeed some girls who seemed to have flushed cheeks and turned their heads away. It seems that the detection range of the system is still very wide. Shyness and nervousness can also be judged as negative emotions. If I had known this would work, I wouldn't have had to expend so much effort. Advertisement. Chapter 6. At the same time, Zhu Qin, who had just walked to the door of the classroom, turned dark. She naturally heard Lin Mo's words, although she hadn't seen this movie or anything. However, it is often possible from the mouth of an unabashed girlfriend, know what Lin Mo is talking about the movie. Back to God, Zhu Dagong pushed his glasses, and there seemed to be a gleam of obscenity in his eyes. Lin Mo, you are really bold. You dare to play tricks at this time. Are you really not afraid of being fired? Then according to what you said, why didn't teacher ask me to go? He folded his arms over his chest, confident. As a top student in his grade, Zhu Dagong often gets the top 3 in his grade. Although he couldn't pass Lin Mo, who passed through the exam, Zhu Dagong did have the qualification of top student compared to most people. According to what Lin Mo said on the surface, the plot of after-school tutoring for young teachers and top students should indeed happen to him. As soon as the words finished, Lin Mo shook his head. Zhu Dagong, what you said reminds me, it seems that the head teacher has never asked you out, right? Do you know why? Everyone looked over curiously, wanting to hear the reason. After all, in the 3 years of high school, many students have been interviewed, although it is not as serious as Lin Mo's mistake. But no one really wants to go there a second time. Zhu Dagong was a little stunned by the question, subconsciously wanted to ask why, and then immediately realized that this was Lin Mo's trap rephrased, that must be because I am good at both character and learning. Lin Mo smiled without saying a word, just looked at Zhu Dagong's pockmarked face and facial features that were as smooth as paper, and patted Zhu Dagong on the shoulder. Said earnestly, maybe, is there a possibility, because you are ugly? The voice fell, and the entire classroom was silent. Everyone looked towards Lin Mo. The afterglow of the setting sun sprinkled on Lin Mo's face, making the original handsome features even more handsome. Indeed, compared with the well-recognized school grass Lin Mo, the appearance of the two is as different as mud. The students subconsciously nodded in agreement with what Lin Mo said. Zhu Dagong, who was originally full of confidence, felt as if he was hit by a bolt from the blue when he saw this scene. The whole person froze in place like a stone statue, unable to regain consciousness for a long time, staring at Lin Mo's handsome face with dull eyes. Advertisement. It seems that I have been mentally attacked by something normal. Obtained from Zhu Dagong's negative emotion value plus 30. Obtained from Zhu Dagong's negative emotion value plus 30. The system beeps endlessly. With a pucci in the corner of the classroom. The whole classroom seemed to be lit with firecrackers, bursting out with cheerful laughter. It seems that teacher Zhu Qin is right not to interview him. Being alone in an office with Zhu Dagong will really affect the mood, ha ha ha. It's the first time I think Lin Mo is so pleasing to the eye. One thing to say, I think what Lin Mo said is very reasonable. Zhu Dagong's complexion turned red, and he was at a loss for what to do, and contributed another wave of negative emotions to Lin Mo. Obtained from Zhu Dagong's negative emotion value plus 40. Obtained from Zhu Dagong's negative emotion value plus 40. Lin Mo gratefully looked at Zhu Dagong, who was stunned in place, the 2 waves of negative emotional value just now. In an instant, it overwhelmed today's big head, and the negative value sentiment contributed by teacher Zukin topped the list. Although he is ugly, he is a good man. Lin Mo nodded in relief to Zhu Dagong. At this moment, the white and pink slender hands grabbed Lin Mo's ears from behind. There was a pain in the ear, which made Lin Mo grin his teeth involuntarily. It hurts. Zhu Qin didn't know when she came behind Lin Mo, and without a word, she grabbed Lin Mo's ear and dragged her outside. Lin Mo resisted symbolically, but it was meaningless, and he could only be led out by her. It hurts, teacher, take it easy. Seeing this scene, the students in the class seemed to think of Lin Mo's nonsense just now. Suddenly, there was another kind of relieved laughter. But what followed was Zhu Qin's cold voice. Stop laughing. Why do you go? If you also want after-school tutoring, I am always with you. Zhu Qin's icy aura instantly silenced everyone. They hurriedly restrained their respective expressions, not daring to look at Zhu Qin. Advertisement. When Lin Mo saw this scene, he had an idea and begged Zhu Qin for mercy. Teacher, I want to apologize to classmate Zhu Dagong, please let me go and let me apologize first. Apologize? Zhu Qin was a little puzzled, stopped and looked towards Zhu Dagong. Zhu Dagong was stunned on the spot, looking hopeless. Zhu Qin let go of Lin Mo's ears, with a hint of relief in her eyes. Unexpectedly, this kid actually has a conscience and will apologize to those who have been hurt by him. Although it was just a joke, it seems that Zhu Dagong was really hit hard by Lin Mo. Lin Mo walked slowly in front of Zhu Dagong, with a very serious expression, and said seriously to Zhu Dagong, I'm sorry, student Zhu Dagong, it was indeed my fault just now. Zhu Dagong was at a loss by Lin Mo's sudden apology. Lin Mo continued, the real reason why the teacher didn't interview you was actually your ability. I got 100 points in the test, and that's because the full score on the paper is only 100 points. And you scored 99 in the test, because your ability is only 99. No et. Zhu Da just wanted to forgive Lin Mo, but there seemed to be something wrong with Lin Mo's apology. Standing on the podium, Zhu Qin's face sank, and she hurried off the podium and grabbed Lin Mo's ear. Next time, if I believe that this brat has a conscience, I will be a dog. Lin Mo just wanted to continue talking, but was dragged out of the classroom by Zhu Qin. Only the students who looked at each other in blank dismay were left behind. What does Lin Mo mean by that? It seems to be 99 points, but Zhu Dagong's ability is actually 99 points, right? He is mocking Zhu Dagong and him, who seem to have only 1 point difference, but the result is actually a world of difference. At this time, I don't know who said something in the corner. If Zhu Dagong's difference of 1 point is worlds apart from him, then those of us who are less than 60% capable are not even inferior to Zhu Dagong. Having said that, the audience fell silent. And Lin Mo listened to the system prompts that kept coming from his mind, and his heart was full of joy. Obtain negative emotion value plus 20 from Yang Psyche, obtained from Guo Hong's negative emotion value plus 30. Obtained from Li Da's negative emotion value plus 40. Obtained from Zhu Dagong's negative emotion value plus 70. Advertisement. Chapter 7. If you want to learn well, you have to follow the master. In the teacher's office, the rest of the teachers have left work early. There are only Lin Mo and Zhu Qin in the whole office. Lin Mo stood obediently in front of Zhu Qin, knowing that she had made a mistake. She dared not speak, but just looked down at ground. Zhu Qin, on the other hand, was sitting on the office chair with Erlang's legs crossed. The slender and straight legs were wrapped in black silk and looked extremely tight, and the flawless skin was faintly visible. You can feel the amazing elasticity just by looking at it. Paired with a pair of beige high heels, Lin Mo felt from the bottom of his heart that this scene was not inferior to after-school tutoring for young teachers and top students. Zhu Qin didn't notice Lin Mo's eyes that kept looking at her legs, but leaned back against the seat and pushed her gold-rimmed glasses. Jokingly said, I can't tell, UBD, you are quite good at playing tricks. Zhu Qin doesn't know where Lin Mo learned so many strange words such as garlic BD, after-school tutoring for young teachers and top students. Facing Zhu Qin's teasing, Lin Mo just remained silent. Although Zhu Qin seems to be in a good mood now, she has been a student of Zhu Qin for 3 years. Lin Mo knew clearly that this was the tranquility before the rain and hurricane. Whenever Zhu Qin has this sign, it means that Zhu Qin is really angry. Lin Mo scratched his head, showing an awkward smile, pretending that he didn't hear what Zhu Qin said before, and said, Teacher, why are you looking for me? After finishing speaking, Lin Mo innocently blinked his big eyes a few times, but it's a pity that no tears flowed from his eyes. It seems that I really should buy an actor's self-cultivation and learn how to act. Lin Mo couldn't help but look at Zhu Qin with some embarrassment. Zhu Qin's smooth chin rested on the back of her slender and tender hands, watching Lin Mo's performance with great interest, and said meaningfully, What do you say? Lin Mo was taken aback by Zhu Qin's rhetorical question, and looked up at Zhu Qin. The beautiful eyes seemed to exude charm inadvertently, and the voice was lazy but with a touch of magical power that made the blood spurt. He seems to have seen this scene in after-school tutoring for young teachers and top students. Even Lin Mo, who has been a man for 2 lifetimes, has never seen such a captivating scene even in his dreams. Lin Mo swallowed, What do you want me to say? Then can I let me go quickly? Because in this office, even though the air conditioner was turned on, he felt extremely hot and dry. The pair of long legs in front of him kept swaying in front of his eyes. Advertisement. You use this to test the old executive? Who can stand this kind of postgraduate entrance examination? Being stared at by Zhu Qin like this, Lin Mo felt a little panicked. He didn't want to graduate soon, only to be repeated a grade and become a trainer a year later. After all, Zhu Qin had the power to keep herself from grades. During the 3 years of high school, Zhu Qin, as her homeroom teacher, tried to test her own ideas countless times. Also told him that Pokémon trainer is not the only way out. Lin Mo's Pokémon studies are very good, but his family background is hard to describe. You can take the route of a researcher, there is no danger, and you can get a good reward. It's a pity that Lin Mo tactfully rejected all of these. He still knows how much he owns, just relying on the accumulated knowledge of Pokémon to bully the children here. If he really took the path of a researcher, he might reveal his secrets faster than anyone else. She won't really let me repeat a grade to take the path of a researcher? Countless thoughts flashed through Lin Mo's mind. Just because she said a few words of garlic BD in her class, it shouldn't be enough, right? After all, there are not a few mischievous people in the class, and this is my first offense. It should not be possible. Could it be because of Zhu Dagong? Lin Mo frowned slightly, and immediately denied this possibility after thinking for a while. That guy usually behaved in various ways in front of Zhu Qin, and often gave Zhu Qin trivial reports. Relying on his good grades, he is often angry with the classmates around him. Zhu Qin also knew about these things, so it shouldn't be too much for him to clean up by himself, right? Should. The most likely thing at present is the teasing of Zhu Qin just now. Indeed, no one should be happy to hear this. Lin Mo nodded, and was about to admit his mistake, but was interrupted by Zhu Qin's lazy voice. Zhu Qin stretched suddenly on the seat, and almost broke the buttons on her chest again. Like a kitten just waking up, she said lazily and charmingly, after a day of class, my shoulders are so sore. It would be great if I could get a massage. After finishing speaking, Zhu Qin looked at Lin Mo intentionally or unintentionally. Lin Mo was a little dazed, looking at the turbulent waves on Zhu Qin's chest, he felt his body getting hotter. Advertisement seemingly fleeing from this dangerous place, he hurried to Zhu Qin's back to please him and said, Teacher Zukin, let me press it for you. As the saying goes, if you want to eat the bun first, you have to touch the bun. So, can I go to your house to eat steamed buns later? Zhu Qin. Obtained from Zhu Qin's negative emotion value plus 50. Zhu Qin cast a coquettish glance at Lin Mo, tugged at his ear and said coquettishly, your skin is itchy again, right? Where did you learn such nasty words? It hurts, I stood for 2 classes and I really want to eat. Lin Mo's ears hurt from being grabbed by Zhu Qin, but his hands didn't stop. Continue to massage Zukin, not to mention it feels good. The soft and tender shoulders can feel the tenderness of Zhu Qin's skin even through Lin Mo's clothes. You can even smell a subtle fragrance infiltrating your nostrils, making Lin Mo a little intoxicated. Lin Mo, who has been a human for 2 lifetimes, is the first time to experience pain and happiness. Zhu Qin was leaned on the chair and slowly closed her eyes, seeming to enjoy it very much. Although Lin Mo is not a professional masseuse, he still understands the basic massage techniques. Feeling Lin Mo's movements, Zhu Qin slightly opened her red lips and said in surprise, I didn't expect that your technique is actually quite comfortable. Speaking of this, Zhu Qin's dame revealed a touch of worry. Although Lin Mo's method made him enjoy it very much, but she didn't forget what the purpose of interviewing Lin Mo was. There were more than 30 people in the class, and Zhu Qin was most worried about this strong and sensible child. Although Lin Mo looked a little mischievous on the surface, Zhu Qin knew that it was just a coat he used to cover up the deep scars in his heart. Ever since she saw Lin Mo, dressed in rags, go to Pokémon High School to pay expensive tuition alone, Zhu Qin knew how strong and persistent he was. Even in high school for 3 years, I kept persuading him to take the path of a researcher. But there was only one sentence to answer Zhu Qin. I also want to try and become a Pokémon trainer. Zhu Qin couldn't bear to see such an excellent child give up her dream. Lin Mo, is your Earl Dervish Pokémon ready? Suddenly, Zhu Qin's cold voice froze the fragrant atmosphere. The hands that were massaging Zukin's shoulders paused for a while. Apparently Lin Mo himself didn't expect that Zhu Qin would suddenly ask this question. Advertisement. Chapter 8. Lin Mo hesitated for a while, and replied truthfully, not yet, I'll probably go catch a weedle in the woods and get through the rookie period. The tone was very flat, as if he was talking about an ordinary thing. But these plain words set off a storm in Zhu Qin's heart. Zhu Qin's complexion changed suddenly, her eyebrows furrowed suddenly, and she scolded in a cold voice, you're dying? Know how dangerous weedle is to common people. You must know that even the lowest weedle, its venom is extremely lethal to humans. It only takes 10 milligrams of venom to enter the human body, and the human body will go into shock quickly. If the serum is not injected in time, the toxins will condense in the blood vessels for a long time, which will be life-threatening. Zhu Qin turned around suddenly and interrupted the movement in Lin Mo's hand. She focused her beautiful eyes slightly, looking into Lin Mo's clear eyes, and suddenly found that Lin Mo was serious. It really seemed like something Lin Mo would do. Zhu Qin secretly rejoiced if she didn't stop this guy today. Was he really going to risk his life to catch Weedle? Zhu Qin shook her head slightly, the coldness faded from her beautiful eyes, and there was a touch of warmth in them. Looking at the tall and handsome young man who has grown up to be similar to himself, he seems to see himself in the past in a trance. Because she used to be like this, and missed the opportunity to become a trainer. Although being a teacher like this is pretty good now, it is a pity that it was sealed. Imprison was untied by the teenager in front of her again. The difference is that she is now a mentor. She has the ability and obligation to help her own students, and she does not want her students to have regrets like herself. Zhu Qin stood up from the office chair. Lin Mo felt that something was wrong with the atmosphere, so he froze in place, and after a few seconds, he asked Zhu Qin tentatively, "Teacher Zukan, don't you want to press it?" Zhu Qin didn't answer, but walked slowly towards her desk, and opened the drawer smoothly. Then, he pushed the bank card he had prepared in front of Lin Mo. "You take this card, there are 300,000 in it, enough to buy an Earl Dervish Pokémon from the breeding house." The money was prepared by her for Lin Mo. Although this amount of money is actually a drop in the bucket for a real trainer, compared to Lin Mo's practice of catching Weedle in the wild. Advertisement: with this amount of money, you can buy a decent Pokémon in the breeding house. After that, his path will be much easier, and everything will have a better start. She believes that with Lin Mo's excellent level, as long as there is a start, one day it will take off. Lin Mo stared at the bank card that Zhu Qin handed over, startled all over, and gave Zhu Qin a surprised look. Suddenly, a warm current surged in my heart. Zhu Qin has always taken care of herself, Lin Mo knows that. Since he entered school, Zhu Qin has given him a lot of care in the name of the head teacher. Even when Lin Mo had no money to eat for a certain period of time, he survived by relying on Zukan's food. But he didn't expect that Zhu Qin would really give out 300,000 yuan for him. Lin Mo looked at the bank card in Zhu Qin's hand, and at Zhu Qin's glamorous and exquisite ground face. Suddenly choked up, unable to speak, just looked around in the office, as if looking for something. "Teacher, just wait for me." After speaking, Lin Mo took a few drops of mineral water from the water dispenser and dripped them in the corners of his eyes. Then she pretended to cry and said, "Teacher Zukan, woo woo woo. I didn't expect. It's just that Lin Mo's acting skills are not very good." The bright smile on the corner of his mouth has long exposed his true inner thoughts. Lin Mo unceremoniously picked up the bank card on the desk, for fear that Zhu Qin would regret normal. Zhu Qin was completely confused when she saw this scene. Before preparing the 300,000 yuan for Lin Mo, Zhu Qin had imagined countless outcomes. Lin Mo was moved to tears, hugged her and cried, vowed to become an excellent trainer, or suppressed her tears, choked up, and so on. But she never expected this kind of result. "Who are you fooling by squeezing 2 drops of mineral water? This guy, don't thank yourself." I was even afraid that I would go back on my word, and I was immediately afraid that my bank card would be in my pocket. Zhu Qin looked at Lin Mo's playful smiling face with a heartless look, and a nameless anger surged in his heart. Obtained from Zhu Qin's negative emotion value plus 50. Obtained from Zhu Qin's negative emotion value plus 50. Advertisement. At this time, Lin Mo smiled even more when he heard the system prompt sound coming from his ear. Seeing this scene, Zhu Qin's eyelids kept twitching, resisting the urge to slap Lin Mo to death, and said angrily, "Go away, heartless brat." She was afraid that if Lin Mo stayed here again, her teaching career would be ruined by Lin Mo. Lin Mo listened to the continuation of the system notification tone in his ears, and knew that he might be in danger if he stayed any longer. "Teacher, calm down, next time I invite you to see my backflip cat." After all, Lin Mo opened the door and disappeared from Zhu Qin's sight in an instant. Looking at the direction where Lin Mo was leaving, Zhu Qin shook her head slightly, smiled helplessly, and murmured, "This little heartless person really doesn't know how to thank you at all. But, how can it be so annoying?" To be honest, she really wanted to criticize Lin Mo severely just now. But when facing this young man, he still couldn't help himself. After all, although he is sometimes mischievous, he sincerely loves the world. Even in the dark, he worked hard to climb towards the sun. Zhu Qin looked at the door, and at some point, a note was caught in the crack of the door. "Hey? Is this the wind blowing through the crack of the door?" She got up and picked up the note from the door. There were still a few lines of slightly scribbled writing on it. The scrawled handwriting instantly let her know the owner of the note. It was Lin Mo who had just been blasted away by her. Thank you Zukan teacher. Your kindness and virtue will always be remembered in my heart, crying. Also, don't you really think about giving this excellent student a special after-school tutoring for me, funny. Zhu Qin was amused by Lin Mo's words and burst out laughing. The previous gloomy and unhappy emotions were also swept away, and Lin Mo's mean smile seemed to appear in his mind. I was so happy that I discovered the new world normal. This BD looks cheerful, but he's not very good at expressing himself, but fortunately, I still have a little conscience. Zhu Qin looked down again at the sentence about after-school tutoring on Lin Mo's note. Slowly added in his heart, this kid has a bit of conscience, but not much. Advertisement. Chapter 9. Lin Mo walked out of the office and down the teaching building. His expression was a little dazed, as if he was still moved by what happened just now. He bumped into the tall boy in front of him. Lin Mo looked up, and a familiar face appeared in front of his eyes. The sea. Wow. Brother Mo, don't you look at the road when you walk. A bronze-skinned teenager in a basketball uniform rubbed his bumped nose and complained in pain. Li Han-hai, known to all his friends as Dahai, is also Lin Mo's best friend and desk mate. With a height of nearly 2 meters, he is a member of the basketball team. I don't know when it started, but the two have become acquainted with each other for no reason, and they often leave school together. The last 2 classes were their training time, which happened to coincide with Zhu Qin's class. The other students have already left after school. Dahai also learned about the Garbine BD incident and the after-school tutoring for top students incident that happened today through gossip. He simply stood here and waited for Lin Mo, never thinking that if he was not careful, he would be physically hit by Lin Mo. A warm liquid slowly flowed down Li Hanhai's nasal cavity. But what he is more curious about now is what happened in the office. Lin Mo doesn't seem to be judged harshly by the interview now. He sees clearly. Lin Mo walked down with a smile on his lips. How is it? How about after-school tutoring? There was a gleam of light in Li Hanhai's eyes, combined with the blood slowly flowing from his upper nose. It was a little obscene. I can't say it's cool, I can only say that art comes from life, right? Are you envious? Advertisement. Lin Mo stroked his chin, recalling the details of the office just now, and said with some insatiable meaning. It's not that he has any unreasonable thoughts, it's just that beautiful black silk legs that are constantly swaying in front of his eyes, and that faint body fragrance. It really made him remember deeply. After hearing this, Dahai rolled his eyes and said, I'm not envious, you know my XP system, I don't like miss you. It was only then that Lin Mo remembered that Dahai had his unique XP system. Unlike most rookie trainers who like cute Pokémon, the sea likes Gardevoir. This is very similar to some of the 2 thorny apes who called Gardevoir's wife every day in the previous life. If it weren't for Hai-Has shallow Pokémon knowledge, Lin Mo doubts whether Dahai is a traveler. He has told Lin Mo more than once that he will become a Pokémon trainer. Be sure to catch a Ralts in a high-level secret realm and cultivate it into a Gardevoir. Obviously, the sea's love for Gardevoir has reached an obsessive level. But there is a fact that Lin Mo has been hesitant to tell the other party. That is, Lin Mo struggled for a while, and finally made up his mind to tell Dahai the news. After all, it was also for his own good, a conscientious person like himself. It is indeed rare. Dahai, I have to tell you something today, and it's for your own good. Lin Mo's meaningful tone made Dahai feel uncomfortable. His complexion changed suddenly, according to what he knew about Lin Mo, now there is an unlucky guy who is going to be unlucky. If nothing else, I am about to have an accident. It's a pity that Lin Mo didn't make any pause, and then said, Advertisement. Did you know that Gardevoir has no sexual characteristics? In other words, Gardevoir look alike in both sexes, and they have a 1-to-1 ratio of males and females. To find out if Gardevoir is male or female, you'd have to lift your skirt, and there's a 99% chance you'll find a surprise. What a surprise, you know. Dahai. After Lin Mo finished speaking, Dahai opened his mouth wide in horror, staring at Lin Mo in disbelief. Lin Mo, you are kidding me. I don't believe it, and if the probability is 1-to-1, shouldn't it only have a 1/2 probability? He suddenly blocked his ears, not to listen to Lin Mo's words. Well, there is a secret treasure called Big Root, which works wonders when combined with Gardevoir. Basically Gardevoir will carry the secret treasure props. Lin Mo looked at the sea with some playfulness, then shook his head as if thinking of something. Dahai is still too young, if those old buddies in the previous life heard this. I'm afraid it will be more exciting, right? Get plus 20 negative emotion value from Li Hanhai, get plus 20 negative emotion value from Li Hanhai. Hearing the continuous system prompts coming from his ears, Lin Mo looked at the sea covering his ears and smiled slightly. I didn't expect you to be so arrogant with thick eyebrows and big eyes. You say no, but your body is very honest. In Dahai's heart, he has gradually believed what Lin Mo just said. The defense line in his heart collapsed bit by bit, and Hai-Has entire body froze in place. So, his beloved Gardevoir. In fact, is it really possible to be a male? Even the mother, maybe with big root? Advertisement. Chapter 10. Clatter. Lin Mo stopped, only to realize that the sea had petrified at some point. The painting style has turned into a gloomy grey, as if he has lost hope in life. In fact, he wanted to remind the other party about this matter a long time ago. After all, this knowledge point was learned in the textbook of the second year of high school. Lin Mo didn't expect that Dahai's grades were so poor that he didn't even understand such a simple theory. After standing still for a while, Lin Mo walked to the sea and patted him on the shoulder. Reassured, "Oh sea, you don't have to be sad, it doesn't matter whether Gardevoir is male or female, as long as they are beautiful and attractive, it doesn't matter. Yet, you can't discriminate against people just because they are male. A male sister is not a younger sister? What a meow." The sea almost broke down and roared out. Then he clasped his hands together and kept begging Lin Mo, "Brother Mo, I beg you not to mention this matter again. Little brother will be your cow and horse for the rest of my life." Dahai's mentality has been broken by Lin Mo unexpectedly. Lin Mo's ability to hate people is indistinguishable from friend to foe. Yuan Dahai learned that Lin Mo compared Bulbasaur to Garlic BD, and laughed at those students who chose Bulbasaur as Earl Dervish Pokémon. He didn't expect the retribution to come so fast, and it didn't take long before Lin Mo gave him a mental blow that he would never forget. He has lived for 18 years, and he has only two hobbies, one is basketball, and the other is singing and dancing, crossed out, Gardevoir. But now Lin Mo told him that he was thinking day and night every day, posters pasted in the room, computer desktop wallpaper, Gardevoir plush toys and so on. In fact, it is very likely to be a male? And Lin Mo actually said they are all the same, how can it be the same? Crying. Watching that Hai quickly surpassed Zhu Dagong and became the second big brother on today's contribution list. Lin Mo felt a burst of relief in his heart, as expected of his good brother. Help buddies review the knowledge of the second year of high school, which can be regarded as a good deed. In order to repay Dahai's kindness, Lin Mo decided to help Dahai preview his university courses. The sea, in fact, Gardevoir can, and Grimer soft-boiled, do you know? Dahai. The sea imagined Grimer and Gardevoir. In his head. Then the pupils shrank to the extreme, and his face was full of shock. Shaking his head vigorously, he threw this picture like Thulhu's mental pollution out of his mind. The sea collapsed and said, "Brother. You don't like me, how about I give you one?" As if he was about to kneel down, he was hurriedly pulled back by Lin Mo who was at the side. "No, no, the sea. Just kidding." After looking at the values on the system panel, it feels almost the same. Lin Mo didn't continue to tease the sea either. He took out a wad of money from the bag, 5,100 alliance coins, and handed it to Dahai. "Ah." Advertisement. Dahai squeezed out a trace of doubt on his gloomy face. "I borrowed 5,000 from you before, 100 is interest, and I will pay you back." Unlike Lin Mo's orphan status, Dahai's family situation is much better. You can't say they are the rich second generation, but they are better off than many common families. Therefore, when Lin Mo has no money, Dahai is always there to help. Lin Mo looked at the other party's distracted contest condition, and probably didn't remember the matter of borrowing money. Lin Mo reminded me. "I borrowed it from you 2 months ago." "Oh. How can Dahai still have the mind to take care of these things now, as long as he closes his eyes?" Head full, Gardevoir and Grimer.mbv, Gardevoir and Grimer.mkv. Lin Mo glanced at the green light at the intersection. Before leaving, he patted Hai on the shoulder again. "Ocean, you have to be optimistic about everything, there's no need to be like this. Maybe you can experience Big Root Gardevoir, what else is there for Prime Minister Cao's happiness?" Roll. Lin Mo nimbly dodged the opponent's fist, grinned, and left the scene quickly. "When I got home, it was already evening, and it was getting dark. Inside the dilapidated and tidy hut, it was dark. Lin Mo skillfully turned on the light. Crack, click, click. But after groping up and down for a long time, the room was still pitch black. Tisk, this power company is really dark. Don't I owe you 2 months' electricity bills? Lin Mo complained, and then gave up turning on the light. Choose to open the curtains to let the moonlight and starlight that are not too bright at night come in. In order to study at Pokémon High School, Lin Mo rented a studio apartment near the academy. However, relying on the monthly subsidy and his occasional part-time work-study program, he still cannot make ends meet. The light in the room was not broken, but because Lin Mo owed the electricity bill. I wanted to say that I would pay the electricity bill after receiving the subsidy today. But Lin Mo simply forgot about it because he went to the office and was delayed for a while. Lin Mo came to the table and searched skillfully, found a candle and lit it. Lin Mo is so proficient, I am afraid this is not the first time the power has been cut off. The candle was lit by the fire, and the gentle candlelight immediately illuminated the small room. After that, he went to the bed and sat down cross-legged, opening the system panel with a thought. Looking at the negative emotional value accumulated in the system panel, he couldn't help laughing. Negative emotion value, 6,350. 6,350 negative mood value, this is more than double the goal that Lin Mo set for himself initially. Advertisement today is already overfulfilled the task. Thank you Zukan teacher and Heiza for your gifts, may the force be with you. Lin Mo bowed towards the candle, as if remembering these 2 people who were still alive, with a strange appearance. Then Lin Mo happily opened the lottery panel and rubbed his hands excitedly. The host is asked to choose the lottery level. The 5 lottery levels are arranged in front of Lin Mo in an orderly manner. Glancing at the panel, Lin Mo lowered his head in thought. If you choose C-level lottery, 1 time is 1,000 points. The current 6,000 can only be drawn 6 times, the probability of this shipment seems to be a bit small. Besides, this black heart system only has 10 consecutive guarantees. It seems a bit uneconomical to draw a C-level prize pool at this time. But if you draw the D-level prize pool, although you can draw 60 times. But there is no lower reward in the D-level prize pool, and there is also no guarantee. This made Lin Mo a little bit difficult. Frowning tightly, he struggled for a while, and finally decided with a slap on his thigh, it doesn't matter, I don't believe that I can't deliver the goods if I smoke 60 times. You can't win the game by stacking 100 layers of Q on the dog's head. It's not that this hero is trash, but that you didn't stack enough. Can't you win by stacking 10,000 layers? In the same way, if you spend 1,000,000 to chase the goddess, if you can't catch up. Is it possible? Is it really ugly, dog head saves life? Of course, Lin Mo doesn't believe in the metaphysical theory of Africans and Europeans who only draw their souls. Since the goods cannot be delivered 6 times, then I will smoke 60 times. 600 times. 6,000 times. Lin Mo immediately said, System, D-level lottery draw, let's start with 10 consecutive draws. Spending, 1,000 negative emotion points 10 consecutive draws are Indiana progress. Drip, 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 successful draw. Congratulations to the host for obtaining, thank you for participating *9. Item, a box of Durex. Lin Mo suddenly opened his eyes. At some point, an exquisite small box appeared on the table. Lin Mo picked up the small box on the table with a face full of black lines and took a look. Durex Ultra Thin 0.01 pack. Lin Mo now feels the collapse of Dahai's mentality. Hehe, you black-hearted system, you only give one of these things, right? Get negative emotion value plus 20 from Lin Mo. Get negative emotion value plus 20 from Lin Mo. Advertisement. Chapter 11. Lin Mo stared at Durex in front of him, and silently contributed 100 negative emotion points to himself. Could it be that he was too dark? Lin Mo frowned slightly, thinking inwardly. The unwavering materialism of the warrior was shaken at this moment. How about trying metaphysics? Lin Mo hesitated for a while, and took out his phone to find the background music suitable for drawing cards. The sky is dead, the yellow sky will stand, the year is Jiazi, the world will be blessed. Ray Cow, help me. The thick and thick male voice came along with the thunder, shocking people's hearts. The majestic and domineering momentum doubled Lin Mo's confidence. System, keep pumping for me. Use 1000 negative emotion value. Lucky draw is in progress. Drip, 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 ding. Congratulations to the host for obtaining, thank you for participating +9. Overalls and basketball suit +1. As a system light curtain fell, the neatly folded overalls appeared beside the bed. At the same time, a familiar basketball was dropped and bounced twice on the ground. Lin Mo. Well, you little chick, show your black feet. Fortunately, I didn't comb my hair into a middle part, otherwise I would really change my career and become a trainee. With a weak voice. The yellow sky is over, how can the common people survive? The BGM fell slowly, but the sad and miserable voice was very suitable for the occasion. Lin Mo almost couldn't hold back when he heard this. Feel offended. I finally made a move, but you let me lose so thoroughly. Blanche. Immediately cosplaying a wave of Gotham clowns, subconsciously raised the phone above his head, as if he was about to throw it out. Fortunately, Lin Mo looked at the barren hut and resisted the movement of restoring the classics. Calm down, I only have this one phone, if it falls, it will be barbecue. But then, there was still a well symbol on his forehead, and his veins burst out. System. Listen to me, thank you because of you, I am warm. The host's mood swings were detected. Get negative emotion value +20 from Lin Mo. Get negative emotion value +20 from Lin Mo. After taking a few deep breaths, Lin Mo calmed down for a while. I don't believe it. This must be a problem with the background music. Lin Mo turned on the music player again, and switched out the song list dedicated to the Emperor of Europe from the previous life. This is the special housekeeping skill he used to protect Konoha in his previous life. Relying on this BGM, he became a firmly materialistic warrior. Then, this BGM was really used by him to watch the house, and he put it in his favorites. Really housekeeping skills. Advertisement. But now, it's time to unlock Imprison. Lin Mo gently pressed the play button on the phone. A cheerful and festive song Good Luck comes echoed in the small room. Good luck. I wish you good luck listening to this familiar yet unfamiliar music. Lin Mo's confidence soared instantly. System, give me another draw. Use 1000 negative emotion value. Lucky draw is in progress. Drip, 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 ding. Congratulations to the host for obtaining, thank you for participating +10. Lin Mo. Get negative emotion value from Lin Mo +30, +30. As the saying goes, failure is the mother of success. The mother of success has been drawn this time, isn't it close to success? System, give me another draw. Use 1000 negative emotion value. Lucky draw is in progress. Drip, 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 ding. Congratulations to the host for obtaining, thank you for participating +10. Well, this time it's the father of success. After all, if there is only a successful mother without a successful father, how can there be success? System, draw again. Use 1000 negative emotion value. Lucky draw is in progress. Drip, 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 ding. Congratulations to the host for obtaining, thank you for participating +10. Get negative emotion value from Lin Mo +50, +50. This time it was an accident, Chang accidentally miscarried. Encore, for sure. Lin Mo clenched his teeth, and the blood pressure in his body continued to soar. The textbook normal's interpretation of what is called the last madness of a gambler. Smoke. Pick again. Keep pumping. I still don't believe in this evil. In the small room, Lin Mo's roar, the system's cold reminder, and the cheerful and festive BGM from the mobile phone are intertwined. After the 6D level 10 consecutive draws are settled, Lin Mo collapsed on the bed almost in despair, staring blankly at the table. A box of Durex, a pair of overalls, a bottle of mineral water, and a basketball. This is the result of his 6000 negative emotion value. It's so FG rich. Lin Mo wanted to cry, but instantly turned back into a firmly materialistic warrior. What kind of metaphysical card drawing? Fake. All fake. Advertisement. After lying down for a while, he slowly got up. He can't bring up rage anymore, he's lost his mind. Now I just think about it, take a shower and go to sleep. Anyway, there was no electricity at home, so I finally called out my own system panel. Take a look at how much negative emotion you have left. Seeing this, Lin Mo froze in place suddenly. The four numbers 3090 are impressively written on the system panel. Lin Mo rubbed his eyes in disbelief, afraid that he might be wrong. Then he seemed to think of something, and clicked on the record to read it. One column is all the negative value emotions provided by myself, there are hundreds of them. The negative emotion value of more than 3000 points was the negative emotion value he had generated because of the 610 consecutive draws just now. More than 3000 points, completely surpassing today's champion Zhu Qin teacher. He has become his own big brother. Could it be that the wool comes from the sheep? Lin Mo thought back a little. Zhu Qin was so angry that she only contributed about 2000 negative emotion points. And in just a few minutes, I actually contributed more than 3000 points. It seems that I am the real one who has been taken advantage of. Lin Mo looked bitter and shook his head. Since there are still draws, let's finish the draw. However, it is impossible for Lin Mo to touch the D-level prize pool again. He is starving to death today, jumping from here, it is impossible to draw another D-level prize pool. System, draw the C-level prize pool 3 times. Lin Mo glanced at the C-level prize pool and was dazzled. There was a fine division of weights for various rewards. Although the probability of getting rare Pokémon is still very low. But at least, there will be no chicken suits like overalls and basketball. Moreover, this prize pool contains a lot of practical items, and the probability is more than 10 times higher than that of the D-level prize pool. Such as Pokémon Pokédex, Red and White Pokeball, 1000 to 10,000 Alliance coins, etc. Although there are more than 3000 negative emotion points, it can only be drawn 3 times. But the famous writer, Mr. L. Yusun once said, "I have a dream." Cross out, it should be, people still have dreams. Otherwise, why would you brag when you're drunk? L. Yusun, right. I said it all. Use 1000 negative emotion points. C-level lottery draw in progress. The lottery panel suddenly opened, and a 7-colored turntable appeared in Lin Mo's mind. The turntable of the C-level prize pool suddenly spun. The pointer rotates rapidly, Lin Mo can only see after images passing by in front of his eyes. 10 seconds later. When the pointer of the turntable stops, a dazzling light shines magnificently. Lin Mo's heart was shocked, and his eyes lit up immediately. This golden light, could it be? In Lin Mo's mind, a familiar voice has already appeared. Wow! Gold Legendary! Advertisement. Chapter 12. The dazzling golden glow slowly dissipated, and the pointer on the turntable suddenly stopped on a glittering golden grid. Lin Mo looked at the 4 large characters on the grid on the turntable, and swallowed subconsciously. The cold system prompt echoed in my ears. C-level lottery successful. Congratulations to the host for obtaining S-level rewards, reminder system. Hint system, you can feel the location of treasures and rare Pokémon within a certain range, and check the attribute information of Pokémon and Pokémon eggs. In just 2 sentences, the function of the reminder system is introduced vividly. Flow batch. Lin Mo was so happy that he almost jumped up from the bed, the strength of the excitement almost tore the bed down. Burning eyes radiated from the pitch-black pupils, his eyes were fixed on the introduction in the light curtain, and his face was full of joy. The probability of winning an S-level item in the C-level prize pool is comparable to that of waking up to an alpaca kneeling in front of him, overwhelmed by his arrogance. Needless to say, Lin Mo, who is a time traveler, also knows what a lot of rewards he has won. Leaving aside the fact that the reminder system also has the function of treasure hunting, it is just the function of viewing various attribute information of Pokémon. It's enough to make Lin Mo, a former party player from his previous life, crazy. You can view the props of Pokémon's various attribute values. Basically, they are given after the game is cleared and the champion is defeated. And now I got it myself. That is to say, I am now 50-50 with the champion, just kidding. As we all know, in the Pokémon world, there are all kinds of Pokémon. There are caterpies all over the mountains and plains, and there are beasts with devastating power that only exist in Legendary. Although they all have their own unique abilities, they all belong to the category of Pokémon. But because of the disparity in the strength of the races, it is impossible for Caterpie to defeat the beast. This is what gamers often call species strength. Species strength is the guarantee that determines the minimum race limit of a Pokémon. And the same Pokémon, because of innate development, will produce individual differences. In order to describe these differences numerically, the concept of individual value was born. Species strength determines the strength of Pokémon races, and individual values determine the strength of individuals of the same race. The hint system drawn by Lin Mo is just a prop used to observe the individual values of Pokémon. Now if he goes to catch a Weedle, he will definitely be able to pick the most excellent one from thousands of Weedles. Lin Mo looked at the light curtain in front of him and grinned slightly. More than 50 thanks for participating, in exchange for this reward, blood is worth it. With the 6-10 consecutive draws just now, he almost collapsed his mentality. But fortunately, the sky pays off. The system gave Lin Mo a big one directly, which is much more practical than quasi-god. With this hint system, Lin Mo doesn't have to worry about not having a good Pokémon at all. Lin Mo immediately swelled up, and with his hips on his hips, he said with air, "What kind of slate alpaca can have its own reminder system fragrance?" The wish of the host has been detected, and the SSS level reward is being closed for the host, all slate Arceus. Hey! You are so chic, why can't you hear good words? Advertisement, open it for me. BD. Even if there is only one chance in a trillion, I want it. After a brief farce, Lin Mo sat on the bed and simply calmed down. Then he looked up at his system panel, and now he still has more than 2,000 negative emotion points left. Since all the S-level items have been drawn by him, it is natural to pursue the victory. Even if you can't draw anything in the future, and you get paid by the system, then you won't lose money. You may earn blood in the classic, but I will never lose money. After all, I have already obtained the hint system bug level reward. Glancing at the phone's battery, it was 9%. Without hesitation, Lin Mo opened the playlist and clicked to play his housekeeping skills. Good luck, I wish you good luck brings joy and love. The lively and festive atmosphere rose again. Lin Mo nodded. Okay. Take advantage of this momentum. Take advantage of the victory and pursue. System, C-level lottery draw for grandpa. Use negative emotion value, 1000 points. In the lottery draw, drip, 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 the pointer in the prize pool spun quickly, and a series of 7 colored halos continued to flow in front of Lin Mo's eyes. Lin Mo looked at the prize pool and thought about it. Although I just won the big prize, according to the probability given by this black-hearted system, it is almost impossible to win 2 big prizes in a row. So this time Lin Mo did not have much hope. If you can win a cash prize, it's acceptable. After all, I am currently short of funds. After a round of young teachers after-school tutoring for top students, Lin Mo is now in debt of 300,000 yuan. Although Zhu Qin didn't say that she would pay it back by herself, Lin Mo always feels bad in her heart. The sooner you can pay back yourself, the more at ease you will feel. And according to the probability of being black like this, the reward of the future C-level prize pool, I am afraid there is a high probability that it will be this. After a few seconds, the pointer stops slowly. The dull lottery panel suddenly became golden again. Although not as dazzling as before, this gold light interrupted Lin Mo from thinking in an instant. Ding! Congratulations to the host for winning an S-level item, Doran Mishia's Pokémon Egg +1. I boil. Lin Mo jumped up from the bed and almost hit the ceiling with excitement. It's just that this time there is no surprise on his face, but a look of horror on his face. System, are you FG sure there is no lucky draw for my longevity? 1S rank twice in a row? With such a small probability, you can let yourself encounter this? However, this time the system did not respond. Advertisement. Lin Mo, who was supposed to be having fun secretly, continued to be unreasonable. I asked a fortune teller before, and they said that I have a long-lived personality that is rare in 10,000 years, and I can live to 1,000 years old. If I lose 1 year of my life, I will never end with you, system. Even if it is a mechanized system, it feels speechless when it hears Lin Mo's words. If the negative emotional value can be obtained from the system, Lin Mo must be reminded of the negative value of the system in his mind now. As time passed, the system light curtain fell. A gold-plated and enamel-painted egg suddenly landed at Lin Mo's feet. The mysterious pattern of secluded green, coupled with the faintly visible gilt on the surface of the eggshell. If it weren't for the attribute checked by hint system, Lin Mo would have thought it was a work of art in some museum. Dragon Messiah, Dragon, Ghost, Gender, Level, LV.0, Egg Stage, Ability, Eternal Pure Body. The ability will not be reduced because of rivals' moves or ability. Character Talent, Timid, Speed Plus, Attack. Individual Values, HP, 31, Attack, 31, special attack, 31, defense, 31, special defense, 31, speed, 31. Skills, none. Carrying items, none. Potential, champion level. Evaluation, it will take a while for the eggs of Doran Messia with extremely high potential to hatch. The contest condition is good, and the little life in it seems to feel the love from the outside world. Quasi-god. Lin Mo's lips trembled, and his breathing became short due to excitement. The S-level item with a probability of only a few tenths of a percent was drawn by him again. Moreover, this is a 6v quasi-god full of champion potential. Lin Mo stretched out his hand tremblingly, and gently stroked the surface of the egg. Rough and hard, the eggshell is like a work of art with a hint of coolness. This is a common feature of ghost-type Pokémon eggs. When Lin Mo's palm touched, a dark light flashed across the gold-plated pattern, which seemed to be the response of Doran Messia in the eggshell. It took a long time for Lin Mo to let go of his hand slowly, the turmoil in his heart was still hard to calm down. With a face full of shock, he dared not believe it, my first Pokémon turned out to be a quasi-god. Lin Mo has thought a lot about his Earl Dervish Pokémon. Weedle, Magikarp, Rattata, Pidgey and many more. Including after getting Zhu Qin's 300,000 yuan, the range of choices can't be expanded much. But he really didn't dare to think that it would be a quasi-god, and a quasi-god with the potential of a champion. This level of Pokémon, if it is auctioned outside, I am afraid that it will not be able to get it without several 100 million alliance coins. Of course, Lin Mo is just thinking about it. Because in reality, no fool would auction off a quasi-god with championship potential. Anyone else? Ask for a wave of data, evaluation tickets, flowers, monthly tickets, all come, don't be picky, 5 changes every day before the shelves, and 30 changes on the first day after the shelves. Advertisement. Chapter 13 Lord Hades, yes. That's it. Lin Mo felt for a while holding the Pokémon egg of Duolong Mia again. Then he reluctantly put the Pokémon egg on his soft pillow. There was a look of sadness on her face, she thought that Zhu Qin's 300,000 yuan could improve her life. But with the arrival of Duolong Mia, Lin Mo once again fell into the predicament of having no money. And poorer than ever. The quasi-god's breeder cycle is very long, and the initial stage is very weak, basically has no combat effectiveness. Instead, it is necessary to accumulate energy at this time and consume a lot of materials to pave the way for the final evolution in the future. Hey! Take a step, let's take a look. Lin Mo sighed, shook his head helplessly and said. Most of the joy of being quasi-god dissipated in my heart. Although Doran Messia is a quasi-god, in the final evolution stage, Doran Bartle has a species strength of up to 600. If trained properly, it will become a very fast 2-attack rusher. There is basically no pressure to face Pokémon under quasi-god. But the premise of all this is that you have to have so much money to train Doran Messia. Raising a quasi-god is no cheaper than raising a 4-legged gold-swallowing beast in Blue Star in the previous life. Maybe I'll spend my whole life paying for the quasi-god's food expenses. Of course, Doran Messia has not yet successfully hatched. My worries are a little too hasty now. Lin Mo took a long breath and took a few deep breaths to adjust his mentality. Continue to say to the system, sea-level prize pool, draw all the negative emotion points. Now Lin Mo basically has no desires, with a salation look on his face. After all, after taking out so many good things, the remaining 1000 points of negative emotion points should be considered as charity. Soon, the pointer on the lottery drawing interface turned. Lin Mo was not idle either, and continued to think about Duolong Mia. Having said that, the quasi-god doesn't seem to have much fighting power in the early stage. I still have to figure out how to get another Earl Dervish Pokémon. While thinking, the pointer of the lottery has already stopped. The gold Lucas just now did not appear. Lin Mo was not surprised at all, after all, if he won the lottery again, he would be afraid of going down to accompany Hades by himself. Lin Mo looked towards the turntable with a smile, and saw that in the system interface, the entire turntable showed a faint dark purple light. Lin Mo. Lord Yan, yes. That's it. Advertisement ding. Congratulations to the host for obtaining the A-level reward. Pokémon, Pikachu +1. Pick up accompanied by a lovely growl, the petite orange figure jumped down. Yellow mouse. Lin Mo frowned slightly, a little surprised, and then a figure of gold flashed in front of his eyes. I only felt my shoulders sinking, and the little guy had already landed on Lin Mo's shoulders. Use your soft cheeks to gently rub his face to express your intimacy. Lin Mo gasped, good guy, all wishes come true, right? I just said that I lacked an Earl Dervish Pokémon, and the system sent me a skin god in the next second. Lin Mo felt the soft touch of the fur on her cheek. With a slight smile, he hugged Pikachu from his shoulders with his backhand, and gently placed it in front of him. With a gentle smile on the corner of his mouth, he stretched out a palm towards Pikachu and said as softly as possible, Pikachu, I will be your trainer from now on, please teach me a lot. Pika Pika Pikachu responded cheerfully and put his little paw on Lin Mo's palm. With the hint of hint system, a data panel quickly appeared in Lin Mo's eyes. Pikachu, electricity, gender, level, LV.11, mature stage, ability, static electricity. Static electricity on the body can sometimes paralyze the rival that comes into contact with it. Character talent, serious. No change, individual value, HP, 25, attack, 31, special attack, 31, defense, 26, special defense, 21, speed, 31, skills, quick attack, thunderbolt, thunder shock, charm, carrying items, none. Potential, elite level. Lin Mo's eyes widened, his surprised eyes resting on the potential of the last line. Pikachu of elite potential. The most important thing is that its double attack and speed are full of individuals. For the race of Pikachu, 3 full individuals are outrageous, and they are all assigned to the right place. Speed and double attack. If there is no Zai's magical skills of dodge quickly and hold on. Pikachu, a flexible Pokémon, wins through speed and burst. Then species strength with double attack and full speed is simply not suitable. Advertisement. You little guy, you're really as good as Shiger. Lin Mo pinched Pikachu's cheeks, feeling the soft touch from his fingertips, with a smile on his lips. The anxiety I had just fallen into because of poverty was diluted a lot by the arrival of Pikachu. Because when I drew it, Pikachu had already evolved. The level has also reached the 11th level, which is already a level for fighting. You must know that this world is not a game from the previous life. Pokémon is basically in its infancy in the first 10 levels. Similar to the infant period of human beings, they basically have no combat power and cannot conduct battles and training. If you conduct battles and training rashly, it will cause irreversible damage to the young Pokémon and affect the upper limit of Pokémon's strength. More seriously, it may even endanger the life of Pokémon. If this happens, Alliance will directly revoke the training qualification of its trainer. But now, the system directly draws Piku's evolutionary Pikachu for itself. Moreover, Pikachu has directly crossed the juvenile stage and reached the mature stage. In this way, Lin Mo has enough time to wait for the development of Doran Messiah. While solving the Earl Dervish Pokémon problem, it also buffers the status quo of lack of funds to a large extent. Don't look at the 300,000 funds provided by Zhu Qin to Lin Mo at this time, which seems to be a lot, but there is definitely not much left after buying Pokémon. Plus food, maintenance, training, etc. After that, everything costs money. If it weren't for Pikachu's sudden appearance, the money for buying Pokémon would have been saved. Otherwise, the 300,000 that Zhu Qin gave would not be enough. After rubbing Pikachu's cheeks, Lin Mo put it down. Then he glanced at the system, and the negative emotion value bottomed out impressively. Sure enough, karma and effect are reincarnation, after the 60 non-chieftain possessions before him. These 3 times, God almost tried every means to compensate himself. First is the hint system, followed by Doran Messiah with champion potential and Pikachu with elite potential. Now Lin Mo just hopes that he doesn't need to compensate Lord Yama in some way. Pikapi Pikachu seemed to see the melancholy in Lin Mo's eyes. Laid around on the bed, quickly climbed onto Lin Mo's shoulder, and rubbed Lin Mo's cheek with his cheek. From the moment the system was born, it recognized Lin Mo as the closest partner. The intimacy is max. But soon, Pikachu felt that the surrounding atmosphere began to become a little strange. Under the shadow of the candle, an evil thought emerged in Lin Mo's mind. There was a faint smirk at the corner of his mouth, and he looked at Pikachu maliciously. The dim candle light reflected Lin Mo's shadow on the wall. In a daze, Pikachu seemed to see the shadow of the demon on the wall approaching him. Pick up. Advertisement. Chapter 14 Pikachu. The capital of the Emperor. Lin Mo looked at Pikachu, with a brilliant smile on Junyi's face. Pick up the apple that happened to be in the principal's garden today and was left on the tree and no one wanted it. Gently cut the apple in the middle with a fruit knife, and took out 2 small packets of ketchup bought for free from the breakfast shop. After Lin Mo's unremitting prostitution every morning, the ketchup at home has piled up enough to be sold. This can't be blamed on Lin Mo, after all, I can't afford to eat, so whoring a few million ketchup for nothing is not too much, right? Besides, I am a regular customer of that breakfast shop, and I also have the titles of Successor of Socialism, Alliance Flower and so on. How can it be called prostitution for scholars? At this time, Lin Mo didn't feel any guilt at all. I was even thinking about getting up early tomorrow and going whoring a few bags of ketchup for free. After all, you have to support your family, it's very blue. Shopkeeper, listen to me, thank you. Lin Mo took out diced apples, put them on the plate, tore apart the ketchup, and squeezed the edge of the plate. Asked by Pikachu on the side, the aroma of apples is mixed with the smell of sweet and sour tomato sauce. All of a sudden, his eyes lit up with golden light, and his ears suddenly stood up. He ran to the edge of the plate and looked at Lin Mo tentatively, as if asking himself if he could eat these apples. Lin Mo nodded slightly, and handed an apple to Pikachu. Pick up. Pikachu hurriedly ate the apple chunk stuffed cheeks that Lin Mo handed over. The 2 cheeks are stuffed with apples, and the bulging appearance is very cute. Lin Mo was amused by Pikachu's naive look. There was a touch of tenderness on the delicate and handsome face, and he said softly, "How about it, is Pikachu delicious?" It's a pity that Pikachu's mouth was already stuffed with apples, so he couldn't make a sound. He could only answer Lin Mo by shaking his head back and forth. Pikachu, who just came to this world and has no experience in the world, it was the first time to eat such a delicious thing, looking at Lin Mo's tender eyes and his dark pupils. Immediately, his favorability for Lin Mo increased greatly. If this was a game, the words favorability +1 would keep popping up on Pikachu's head. After eating, Pikachu hugged the apple and started gnawing wildly. Advertisement. Lin Mo was relieved to see Pikachu eating so happily. In the original book, the stupid Pishin likes to eat sweet and sour food, especially tomato sauce and apples. Now my Pikachu also likes to eat these 2 things so much, does that mean it? Own Pikachu equals skin god? Thinking of this, Lin Mo couldn't help but straighten his back. Pishin is the existence of electrified alpaca, let's convert it. Isn't that your own Pikachu equal to alpaca? This is not an A-level reward, this is obviously an SSS level reward. Just when Lin Mo was dazed, Pikachu had almost finished spinning the apples on the plate. Lin Mo hurriedly reminded Pikachu, "Pikachu, try dipping an apple into the ketchup next to it, maybe you'll like it even more." Skin. After hearing Lin Mo's words, Pikachu didn't believe that there was anything more delicious than the apple in his hand. But out of trust in Lin Mo, he still gently dipped the apple in his hand towards the ketchup on the edge of the plate. Pikachu was shocked by the wonderful combination of sweet and sour flavors when the apples dipped in tomato sauce, as if they had discovered the new world normal. Skin. The cute big eyes are full of disbelief, and the lightning-like tail is raised straight behind him. The appetite increased greatly, and the food on the plate was eaten up in 3s and 5s. Even the ketchup on the edge of the plate was licked off by Pikachu. He looked at Lin Mo with unsatisfied interest, as if he wanted to have another dish. At this moment, Lin Mo coughed solemnly, and said seriously, "Pikachu, since you've eaten so much, you should get some exercise. Otherwise your stomach will always be so fat, you won't be able to eat apples and ketchup." Lin Mo pinched Pikachu's bulging belly, the fur was very smooth and unexpectedly soft to the touch. Skin. Although Pikachu didn't know the relationship between fat belly and not being able to eat apples, after hearing what Lin Mo said, the 2 little paws covered his cheeks and petrified in place, his eyes were distracted, as if he had seen his miserable life without apples and ketchup in the future. Lin Mo looked at Pikachu's appearance, secretly happy in his heart. On the surface, he calmly comforted Pikachu and said, "Advertisement, you just ate a big plate of apples, if you can't eat them all, you will turn into a big fat mouse, and you won't be able to run when you fight in the future. You have to train first, and convert what you eat into energy for consumption and absorption. So keep eating apples and ketchup." At this time, Lin Mo finally tried to see her, and began to reveal her true intentions. What is Pikachu? A Pokémon of the electric type. After training Pikachu, you still have to pay the electricity bill? It is enough to open a small power plant by yourself. Moreover, this is also for the good of Pikachu, such a talent, it is natural to pay close attention to training since childhood. It is not Lin Mo who wants to save electricity bills by making a training plan. Skin? Pick up. When Pikachu heard it, he first felt that something was wrong. Thinking back carefully, I felt that what Lin Mo said was very reasonable, so he called out Pika Pika and wanted to go to training. Then he pointed to the licked empty plate with his little paw, wanting to have another plate. Seeing this, a bright smile appeared on the corner of Lin Mo's mouth, and he agreed immediately. No problem, as long as you finish training, there are apples and ketchup. After finishing speaking, Lin Mo entered the storage room, and there was a sound of jingling. A power-generating device similar to a large hamster roller was taken out of the storage room. Lin Mo was an orphan since childhood, and has done a lot of work to earn a living. Hands-on ability is also very good. It is not difficult for him to make a simple power generation device from the waste materials in the utility room. Lin Mo lifted the hamster roller in front of Pikachu, and attached the two connected rollers, something similar to an oxygen mask, to Pikachu's cheeks to absorb electricity. In addition, Lin Mo made an insulated pole that was strapped to Pikachu's back. Like a fishing rod, a chunk of apple wrapped in ketchup hangs from the tip of the fishing rod, and Pikachu is placed in the hamster roller. After all, as the saying goes, if you want a horse to run, you must give it grass. He wanted to make Pikachu generate electricity, so naturally he wanted to let Pikachu see a glimmer of hope. The apple hanging in the air in front of Pikachu was drooling, trying to grab it. However, he found that his short hands couldn't reach at all, so he subconsciously kicked forward with his hind legs. The hamster wheel began to spin by itself. Advertisement. Chapter 15 Pikachu, although I am not a human being, you are a real dog. Lin Mo looked at Pikachu who kept running in the hamster wheel, with a wider smile on his face. Yes, that's it Pikachu. Remember to discharge your cheeks, otherwise you won't get exercise just by running. Pick up. Although Pikachu didn't know what it had to do with exercising, he followed Lin Mo's friendly advice. The two red electrical sacs on the cheeks began to crackle and discharge outward. The pale yellow spark instantly lit up the entire dark and narrow room. Zi. Electricity is constantly gushing from the generator of the roller. Within a few seconds, the originally dark lights in the house began to flicker. Then it was lit up by the electric current from Pikachu, and the bright light was like normal day, much brighter than before. Seeing this, Lin Mo smiled gratifiedly, then blew out the candle, and skillfully put it back in the drawer under the table. With the universal generator Pikachu, I am afraid that candles will not be used in the future. Thinking of saving a lot of electricity bills in the future, Lin Mo couldn't help but smile brightly. Earl Dervish Pokémon, times, universal engine without paying electricity bills, Pikachu, so love will disappear, right? Pikachu. Come on and exercise. Tomorrow I will go to the principal's garden to pick up some apples that no one wanted for you. Lin Mo encouraged Pikachu. After all, the old man is not a demon, the battery is only enough for today, so save a little more. Pick up. As soon as Pikachu heard the apple, he instantly became energetic. He clenched his fist at Lin Mo and ran harder. Pikachu, who is inexperienced in the world, has no idea that in the sinister world of human beings, there is a word called whoring for nothing. Obviously Lin Mo didn't pay anything, but in exchange for the electricity it worked so hard to generate. This is white whoring. This time for sure. Lin Mo turned his attention to his refrigerator. Today I was punished by Zhu Qin to stand for 2 classes, and when I got home, I was delayed because of the system lottery. Lin Mo didn't eat until it was completely dark. I was so hungry that my chest was sticking to my back. Well, have a good meal today, reward yourself. Lin Mo looked at the refrigerator for a long time, immediately decided to eat up all the ingredients in the refrigerator that he was reluctant to eat on weekdays. After all, if according to this shipment rate, Lin Mo doesn't eat it now, I'm really afraid that I won't have the chance to eat these in the future. Raised in the principal's fish pond, the big crucian carp and crayfish that no one wants. Advertisement coupled with the green onion, ginger, and garlic that no one wants in the principal's back garden, Lin Mo made himself braised crucian carp and spicy crayfish. Plus, a bowl of fragrant rice. Lin Mo's saliva is about to flow out, the only regret is The headmaster doesn't grow rice at home. Tisk. It seems that I have to give the school an opinion. As the principal, how can I not grow rice? If you don't grow rice, how can you teach students to use labor to create a better future? How to train students into talents with all-round development of morality, intelligence, physique, art, and labor? Well, all this is my own good intentions. I don't want to go whoring for nothing. Ah. Shallow. Lin Mo looked at the two dishes in front of him, stuffed cheeks got up. It is delicious to eat. Although there are only 2 dishes, it is considered a luxury for Lin Mo who is living in poverty. If it weren't for the consideration of not having to pay electricity bills in the future and some metaphysical factors, Lin Mo really wouldn't dare to eat so luxuriously. Since there is no need to pay electricity bills in the future, the excess electricity bills will naturally become my own food expenses. What's wrong with eating better? Is there a problem? No problem. At this time, Pikachu, who was in the hamster roller and working hard to generate electricity, suddenly smelled the enticing fragrance in the air. The footsteps gradually slowed down, and he looked around, looking for the source of this alluring fragrance. Looking along the source of the fragrance, Pikachu saw Lin Mo sitting at the dining table and was stuffing cheeks. In front of them were 2 plates of bright color, faintly exuding a faint golden light that could not appear in reality. Pikachu's mentality collapsed a bit. CO authoring your hard work out here, where are you enjoying the food? Lin Mo was eating with relish, when he suddenly heard a cold system notification sound coming from his ear. Get negative emotion value plus 10 from Pikachu, get negative emotion value plus 10 from Pikachu. Accompanied by the system prompt tone, there is also a strong grudge behind him, like a glow on his back. Even without turning his head, Lin Mo could clearly feel the strong grudge. Lin Mo coughed a few times to cover up his embarrassment and said, Ahem. Pikachu, you see, you just ate. I've been busy all day, haven't I eaten yet? After you finish training, I will prepare delicious apples and tomato sauce for you. Pick up. There was a trace of suspicion in Pikachu's eyes, and he always felt that something was wrong. You see, exercising is also for your own good. Don't you want to become stronger and have apples and ketchup every day? After another flicker, Pikachu was deceived, crossed out, by Lin Mo, and was persuaded by Lin Mo's expression of true feelings. Continue to train obediently, power generation. Advertisement. Seeing this scene, Lin Mo nodded in relief. How can I be at the protagonist level with my mouth? While eating, Lin Mo turned on the TV very naturally. After all, how can you eat without watching TV? No, it is as an aspiring young man who is about to fly his ideals. What if you don't keep abreast of the hot news of the moment? Lin Mo walked into his room, slowly turned on the TV, and a standard broadcast tone came out of the TV. It is reported that Sakura Alliance suddenly ran into the once-in-a-century earthquake, which has caused tens of thousands of casualties. According to Pokémon science experts speculate, this earthquake may be related to legendary Pokémon. No fun. Lin Mo pressed the remote control to change the channel. After all, what the expert said was the same as what he didn't say. Brothers Farfetch'd is suffering from heat stroke, let's help him. Today, I will teach you how to catch fathead fish. Tell everyone a little bit of common knowledge, Gardevoir is reproductively isolated from humans. Don't ask why, I'll test it myself. Lin Mo has checked many channels, but there seems to be nothing interesting. At this time, Pikachu suddenly inexplicably felt another point of difficulty. The 2 oxygen mask-like masks on his cheeks have stronger suction, constantly drawing electricity from his body. Although there is no evidence, my intuition tells it that Lin Mo did it. Ever since Lin Mo opened the box that played images, he seemed to be struggling more. However, the simple-minded Pikachu didn't know what this box that played images had anything to do with his becoming strenuous. Shaking his little head, he shook off the messy conjectures in his mind. Get back on your feet. Keep exercising hard, and you will be able to eat delicious food later. With the hard work of Pikachu, the light bulbs in the house became much brighter again. After a long time, Pikachu panted heavily, and slowly stopped. Sweat has soaked its soft, fluffy fur, and in the electric storage bag on the cheek, spark has long disappeared. The 2 short legs were trembling constantly, and they could no longer run. Pikachu was so tired that he collapsed on the table and looked in Lin Mo's direction. At this time, Lin Mo was sitting in front of the TV with a bowl in his hands, eating meat while staring at the TV. I was amused by the crosstalk on TV and almost choked. Looking at Lin Mo enjoying Lin Mo all over his face, Pikachu suddenly felt sad for some reason. Get negative emotion value plus 10 from Pikachu, get negative emotion value plus 10 from Pikachu. Pikachu, I'm not a human, but you are a real dog. Advertisement. Chapter 16. Feeling Pikachu's grudge, Lin Mo looked into the hamster cage. Pikachu was already lying on his stomach inside, his soft and fluffy fur was soaked in sweat. From the looks of it, Pikachu was really tired. Lin Mo did not let Pikachu continue to train, but comforted Pikachu, Pikachu, thank you. Training should be moderate. Otherwise, what should I do if I get hurt? Lin Mo looked at Pikachu, who was tired and paralyzed in the cage, with distressed eyes. Pick up feeling Lin Mo's love, Pikachu was very moved, and his big dark and watery eyes were full of emotion. However, soon, this touch of emotion quickly dissipated. If you really hurt yourself, the follow-up medical expenses will be much more expensive than your electricity bill. Pikachu, number, get negative emotion value plus 10 from Pikachu, get negative emotion value plus 10 from Pikachu. After hearing this sentence, Pikachu's original emotion disappeared immediately. Instead, there was a look in the eyes that seemed to be a swordsman. Lin Mo, who was walking towards the hamster cage, faltered, and suddenly felt an inexplicable chill rushing up from the soles of his feet. Shivering all over, he looked up at Pikachu in the hamster's cage. Looking at Pikachu's resentful eyes, Lin Mo, who was about to let Pikachu out, couldn't help but swallowed and hesitated. Pikachu shouldn't call me, right? Looking at Pikachu's resentful eyes, Lin Mo couldn't help feeling guilty. It stands to reason that the Pikachu presented by the system should not have low intimacy. But why now Pikachu always looks like? I always feel that Pikachu really wants to shock him. Immediately, Lin Mo's mind flashed the various situations in which Mr. G was electrocuted by Pikachu in his previous life. Lin Mo felt even more guilty when he thought of the various scenes of Mr. G being electrocuted. I let you learn from Pishin. Didn't let you learn how to electrify people. Pikachu, you can't hide the look in your eyes when you want to kill yourself. If eyes could kill, Lin Mo would have died no less than 100 times by now. Lin Mo hesitated for a while, but finally turned around and walked towards the kitchen. To be on the safe side, Lin Mo still wore insulating gloves, and added a layer of sweater gloves inside the gloves to keep warm. Only then did he feel relieved. Okay. Pikachu shouldn't be able to call me now. Advertisement after all, I am not a mega rookie. If Pikachu did it like this, I probably wouldn't be able to bear it. I have to say that trainer is really a high-risk occupation. Now, Lin Mo walked towards Pikachu with confidence, and carried Pikachu out of the hamster cage. Showing a smile that he thought was pretty, he comforted Pikachu, Pikachu. Thank you for your hard work this time. Skin. Pikachu looked at the faint smile on the corner of Lin Mo's mouth. I always feel that this smile is cheap, combined with my previous experience. Subconsciously, Pikachu was about to face Lin Mo discharge. Of course, Pikachu is still very measured. After all, Lin Mo is his own trainer, he just wants to punish Lin Mo a little bit, not really want to send Lin Mo to see Lord Hades. The electric sac on Pikachu's cheek emitted a faint sound of electric current, and his body was exerting slight force. Pikachu played thunder, just kidding. If it is really thunder, Lin Mo may not be able to see the sun tomorrow. Weak currents are constantly flowing through Pikachu's body, because there was too much discharge just now. There is not much electricity in the electric pouch on its cheek at this time, plus the glove set with the full discharge ability on Lin Mo's hand. Lin Mo didn't feel any numbness at all, but Pikachu became weaker because of the discharge flow just released. Almost passed out. Ah! Pikachu, what's the matter with you, why do you feel that your face has become uglier? Looking at the Pikachu in his hand, Lin Mo asked innocently. After speaking, he blinked his eyes twice. He was secretly laughing in his heart, and the system notification sound in his ear had already exposed Pikachu. Get negative emotion value plus 10 from Pikachu, get negative emotion value plus 10 from Pikachu. Looking at the innocent look on Lin Mo's handsome face, Pikachu was furious. I don't know if I'm too tired or just PD off. I just felt that there was darkness in front of my eyes, and I fainted. When he woke up again, Pikachu only felt a burst of clarity in his body. There was a burst of relief from the electric sac on the cheek. Opening his eyes, he found himself lying on Lin Mo's lap, and Lin Mo was giving himself a massage. Pikachu, you're awake. Lin Mo found that Pikachu opened his eyes, his face was full of joy. He let out a long sigh of relief, as if he had let go of a stone in his heart. Advertisement. If it weren't for Lin Mo's reminder system, he would know that Pikachu just passed out due to overwork and other factors. Otherwise, Lin Mo is planning to take Pikachu to the Pokémon hospital overnight. Pick up. Feeling Lin Mo's caring eyes, Pikachu was immediately moved. Although this trainer is a bit irritating, it is still good for myself overall. He would also give himself a massage. Enjoying the pleasure of the massage, Pikachu completely forgot who made him so tired. A Pikachu that has just passed its juvenile period bears a burden that it shouldn't bear at its age. How are you? Are you comfortable? Pikachu. Lin Mo continued to do what he was doing, and asked Pikachu. Because the electric sacs on Pikachu's cheeks can not only be used to generate electricity, but also can be used to store its own electricity. So basically after every combat training, the electric sac will be very tired and numb, and massage can achieve a moderate amount of relief. Of course, the premise is that the power of the electric bag is drained. If you still have enough electricity to massage Pikachu's electric sac. For the consequences, please refer to the situation when Master Yi was electrocuted. Skin Pikachu. Pikachu closed his eyes, enjoyed it, and let out growl comfortably. This scene lasted about half an hour. Half an hour later, Lin Mo had almost finished the massage and stopped what he was doing. Pikachu on his lap suddenly opened his eyes, with some doubts in his eyes. I am having fun. Why did you stop? Okay, get ready to eat, half an hour is enough, pressing it again will be counterproductive. Lin Mo explained solemnly. At the same time, he took out an apple that no one wanted that grew in the principal's garden from the refrigerator, and began to cut the apple on his own. While cutting, he complained, after pressing it for more than half an hour, my hands are sore. I don't know if the electricity you send is worth my half-hour massage fee. Pikapi. The latter sentence is the truth. Pikachu complained, but it's a pity that Lin Mo doesn't understand Pokemon language, so he can't understand what Pikachu said. It can only sit on Lin Mo's lap alone and sulking. Sulk. JPG get negative emotion value plus 10 from Pikachu, get negative emotion value plus 10 from Pikachu. You know, it trained for 3 full hours just now, but Lin Mo only pressed himself for half an hour and stopped pressing it. Pikachu can be sure, this master has a bit of conscience, but definitely not much. Advertisement. Chapter 17. Pikachu slumped on the sofa, watching Lin Mo go away and get his back, feeling a surge of grudge in his heart. Since Lin Mo doesn't massage himself, as a mature Pokemon, he massages himself. Pikachu looked down at his 2 little paws, and put them on his face. Need constantly. Pikachu. Pikachu began to close his eyes, hypnotizing himself. It's not me having a massage, it's the owner who is giving me a massage. After a while, Pikachu's closed eyes reopened. Looking down at his little paws, he felt lost. I massaged myself, but it was still not as comfortable as the owner's massage. As much as I hate to admit it, it's true. Thinking of this, Pikachu's mood became even more depressed, and his ears drooped weakly. At this time, Lin Mo just prepared apple and tomato sauce for Pikachu. Walk into the living room with a plate full of apples and ketchup. Looking at Pikachu's somewhat lost back, he couldn't help but smile, and said to Pikachu gently, Pikachu. Dinner is ready. Pikachu immediately pricked up his ears and turned his head in surprise. Skin. With the sound of dinner, Pikachu's attention was instantly drawn away. Sweep away the previous low and gloomy mood. He bounced onto the dining table with a trace of crystal liquid hanging from the corner of his mouth. The little paw picked up the apple and lightly dipped it in some ketchup, then carefully held the apple piece and gnawed it. It seems that they cherish this hard-won food very much. The naive look is very cute, and there is some tomato sauce that was carelessly put on by the apple at the corner of his mouth. Looking at Pikachu's cute appearance, Lin Mo couldn't help but smile. I didn't expect Pikachu to be so easy to buy. If you're really angry, it's an apple and ketchup meal. Add half an hour of massage at most, and it will be resolved. Although the power of Pikachu was not enough to support the electricity at home for a long time, but at the same time, Pikachu is constantly training and growing. This is what Lin Mo values most. Advertisement after all, I am not a black-hearted trainer without a conscience. When Pikachu gets stronger, maybe he can open a small power plant to make money. It's a good deal to trade these free items for Pikachu's uninterrupted power. Looking at the system panel, Pikachu contributed more than 2,000 negative emotion points to himself. The smile on the corner of Lin Mo's mouth became more intense, and now he even wanted to hug Pikachu and kiss him hard. This is my lucky star. Pikachu was eating an apple when a chill suddenly rose from his back. Looking at the smile on Lin Mo's face, for some reason, Pikachu always felt that Lin Mo's smile was a little gloomy. A feeling of no second came to my heart. Skin. Putting down the apple in his hand, he jumped off the table and ran to the bed as if escaping from normal, and got into Lin Mo's bed. Pikachu. Don't rub the ketchup on my quilt. The next day, just after dawn, Pikachu, who was still asleep, was woken up by Lin Mo. Pikachu, get up soon, I'm going to buy you something to eat today. Lin Mo lifted the quilt and pushed Pikachu lightly. Pikachu rubbed his eyes sleepily, as if he hadn't woken up yet. Pick up. Pikachu sat up from the bed and looked at Lin Mo with some doubts. Lin Mo said he wanted to buy food for himself? Don't you still have apples and ketchup at home? Lin Mo seemed to see Pikachu's doubts, and said helplessly, you can't just eat apples and ketchup, you always need something that's healthy for Pokémon. While Pikachu loves apples and ketchup, if only that. Pikachu's nutrition will not keep up with its own growth, and its combat effectiveness will also be affected. Over time, it is almost the same as the wild Pokémon outside, eating food from the human world. It is difficult to grow up by oneself, and long-term eating is not good for the body, just like people who do not eat staple food and add ham sausage to instant noodles every day. Pokémon has special food suitable for Pokémon, although it is much more expensive than human food. But Lin Mo will naturally not let Pikachu suffer from malnutrition. After all, he still needs to rely on Pikachu to survive in the early stage. And although Lin Mo is relatively thrifty, he still has a conscience anyway, and he will never skimp on his Pokémon. Anyway, he has already formulated a series of repayment plans for Pikachu such as 3-year breeder, 5-year power generation. Advertisement. This is not a deduction. This is the truth to let your Pokémon know how to use labor to create wealth from an early age. After all, Pikachu is all about apples and ketchup. Lin Mo doesn't spend much money at all, the apples are nobody wants on the principal's apple tree, and the ketchup is also nobody wants at the breakfast shop. The only cost is that if you are caught, you may need hundreds of millions of medical expenses. After simply washing up and tidying up the room, Lin Mo took Pikachu and ran towards the commercial street. I don't know if it's because Common's Pokeball is uncomfortable, but Pikachu also directly refused to enter the Pokeball. Instead, he jumped onto Lin Mo's shoulder, and lay on Lin Mo's shoulder. Lin Mo was a little shocked by this sudden move. His eyelids twitched wildly as he looked at Pikachu on his shoulder, and couldn't help complaining in his heart. Hey guy, shouldn't I have to match you with a hat? I have to say that if I match my Pikachu with a hat, I am afraid it will look like a skin god. Shopping street. Maybe because today is the weekend, there are many more pedestrians on the road than usual. The youthful and beautiful Stephanie in all kinds of dresses swayed in front of Lin Mo with her big white legs. Lin Mo was unmoved, but turned the corner and walked into a breeder house in a remote corner. The reason is because Lin Mo has a bunch of coupons for their store. Inside Breeder's house, the middle-aged uncle-like shopkeeper was sitting at the cash register with a worried expression on his face. After sending out so many coupons and advertisements, no one comes. It turned out that this is a new store. With the 15% discount for the opening and the various coupons sent out, the discount can be said to be the biggest on this commercial street. But there are almost no customers who come to buy things. Norman was 180,000 away from the hot scene that the owner expected. Just when the shop owner was depressed, Lin Mo walked into the shop. Welcome, you can watch whatever you want. The owner rubbed his hands and greeted him, and when he saw Lin Mo's handsome face, he was a little stunned. I always feel that I have seen this face before. Lin Mo, guilty heart.jpg. Well, I'll take a stroll. There was a trace of cold sweat on Lin Mo's forehead, and he turned his head to the other side calmly. Skin. Pikachu leaned on Lin Mo's shoulder, feeling the strange atmosphere between the two. Advertisement. Chapter 18. Seeing that the shopkeeper did not recognize himself, Lin Mo felt relieved, and took Pikachu for a stroll in the store. There are all kinds of commodities in a variety of styles and a dazzling array. Deep sea or solvent, which can enhance the energy in the body of water Pokémon, the price is 100,000 alliance coins. Volcano rock solvent, which can enhance the energy in the body of fire-type Pokémon, the price is 110,000 alliance coins. Lin Mo looked at these products and secretly clicked his tongue. He didn't expect the potions used by Pokémon to be so expensive. Before he thought, grab a Weedle by yourself and slowly breeder. With the Pokémon knowledge you have mastered, you will never lose to those trainers who choose Yuuzhanjia as Earl Dervish Pokémon. Now it seems that this idea is a bit too naive. If you don't have money, you really don't deserve to be a trainer. Even with the 300,000 that Zhu Qin gave you, you can't buy anything here. But this time, Lin Mo is not here to buy this. Lin Mo took Pikachu straight to the area selling energy cubes. Fire-type low-level energy cube, the price is 300 alliance coins per piece. Electric-type low-level energy cube, the price is 300 alliance coins. Water-type mid-level energy cube, the price is 3000 alliance coins per piece. Lin Mo looked at the energy cube in front of him, and then at Pikachu on his shoulder. It seems to be thinking whether Pikachu can generate 900 alliance coins a day. One low-level energy cube can be used as food for a Pokémon below a profession, and it can also allow Pokémon to develop better. As for the mid-level energy cube, the price is higher, but the effect is undoubtedly better. Advanced energy cubes are not sold in the store. That is basically a priceless energy cube that only professional Pokémon breeders can make. It can be said that the level of Earl Dervish Pokémon will screen out 70% of common people who cannot afford Earl Dervish Pokémon. Then the energy cube will filter out 99% of trainers who cannot afford the energy cube. Because the energy cube is the most basic and important part of breeder Pokémon. If the trainer's Pokémon doesn't eat energy cubes, it only eats some human food. Then it's no different from the wandering Pokémon outside. In the end, there will only be malnutrition, and the energy in the body will not be able to fight at all. Hiss! This energy cube is so expensive. 300 alliance coins are enough for a meal. Lin Mo couldn't help complaining when he saw the price of the energy cube. An energy cube can only last for one meal, so Pikachu needs to consume nearly 30,000 alliance coins a month. In less than a year, the cost can reach 300,000. Advertisement 300,000 alliance coins is already an astronomical figure for Lin Mo, and the money supported by Zhu Qin is only enough for Pikachu's food expenses for less than a year. Thinking of this, Lin Mo couldn't help but shook his head, as if seeing a horrible picture of himself going bankrupt. Immediately decided, no. It's too scary. I have to make energy cubes myself. If we say that the level of energy cubes will screen out 99% of trainers who cannot afford energy cubes, then the remaining 1% are trainers like Lin Mo who choose to make their own energy cubes. However, making energy cubes is not as simple as in games or animations. This is the real world. Making energy cubes is not only about nutrition and taste. You also need to have a lot of Pokémon knowledge. You must understand the nutrition and preferences of each Pokémon before you can make the corresponding energy cubes. In terms of Pokémon knowledge, Lin Mo was a serious Pokémon fan in his previous life, and his performance has been very good in this life, so there is nothing to worry about. The main reason is that I am currently short of cash and cannot afford too many energy cubes. And I still have a Doran Messia that hasn't hatched yet, waiting for Doran Messia to hatch. Another gold swallowing beast, and the speed of swallowing gold is definitely faster than Pikachu. This is a quasi-god. I am afraid that the 300,000 that Zhu Qin gave her is not enough for Doran Messia's food for a month. Now Lin Mo can only save money as much as possible. If you can make your own energy cube, you can do it yourself. Lin Mo walked towards the tree fruit area. Compared with the energy cube, the price of tree fruit is much cheaper. Generally, they are between 200 and 300, and the most expensive ones do not exceed 1000 alliance coins. But a tree fruit can be used to make more than 10 energy cubes. Of course, there must be more than one type of tree fruit needed for an energy cube. But in conversion, a serving of energy cubes is still less than 100, which is quite a bargain. Magost berry, Belu berry, Normal berry. Lin Mo looked at the berries on the shelf, and selected the berries for Pikachu energy cubes. He looked towards the machine that made the energy cube. After all, how could he choose to make the energy cube without a machine? There are two types of machines for making power cubes. One is a semi-automatic machine that requires manual mixing of the berries. Although it is a bit troublesome, the quality of the energy cubes produced is much higher than that of the fully automatic ones. Really high-quality power cubes can only be made with semi-automatic machines, not fully automatic machines. Therefore, the semi-automatic energy cube maker is basically the first choice of professional breeders. Fully automatic machines are more suitable for breeders or trainers who are just getting started. You don't have to do anything, just put the berries in it. But the price is more than a little bit more expensive than the semi-automatic energy cube manufacturing machine. The price of a semi-automatic fruit-making machine is only 80,000, while the price of a fully automatic machine is 5 times that of the former. Advertisement 400,000. It is impossible for Lin Mo to afford this price. Normal only buys this kind of machine in places that specialize in the production of Pokémon feed, and it is wholesale in large quantities, and the price will be much cheaper. The price of the tree fruit plus the price of the energy cube manufacturing machine has reached 100,000 alliance coins. Lin Mo glanced at Pikachu on his shoulder, and then looked down at the bank card that Zhu Qin stuffed for him in his pocket. I only felt that my heart was bleeding, but I didn't expect to spend 100,000 alliance coins to solve Pikachu's food problem. This account must be written down. Lin Mo silently changed Pikachu's plan of 3-year breeder, 5-year power generation to 3-year breeder, 50-year power generation. Pikachu, the capitalists will cry when they see it. After changing the plan, Lin Mo's heavy mood improved a lot, and he led Pikachu to the Pokémon egg area of the breeder house. And Pikachu on Lin Mo's shoulder suddenly felt a chill behind him, and looked behind him. Finding nothing, he could only scratch his head in doubt. Skin. Lin Mo took Pikachu to the area selling Pokémon eggs. There are various Pokémon in the incubator. Oddish, grass, poison, gender, level, 0, egg stage, ability, chlorophyll. In sunny day or sunny weather, the speed ability becomes twice the original. Character talent, bold, defense plus, attack individual values, HP, 2, attack, 10, special attack, 9, defense, 0, special defense, 11, speed, 23, skill, none carry items, none potential, common Rattata normal. Potential, common after roughly turning around, the Pokémon here are generally relatively common, and none of them has a potential beyond the gymnasium level. The highest potential is the gym level BD, crossed out, Bulbasaur. The price tag is as high as more than 1.3 million. It is not something that Lin Mo can afford. Lin Mo looked at the rows of Pokémon eggs, feeling a little disappointed. Originally, I wanted to use the system to find a leak, but it seems that I can't find it. Advertisement. Chapter 19. Lin Mo was not discouraged if he couldn't find any leaks. After all, high-quality Pokémon are not so easy to meet. And even if you meet, I have no money myself. A grudge surged in Lin Mo's heart, and the familiar system prompt sounded in his ears. Get negative emotion value plus 10 from Lin Mo. Get negative emotion value plus 10 from Lin Mo. These Pokémon eggs for sale probably belong to the breeder's own breeder, and they are all descendants of common Pokémon. Naturally, he would not have such high qualifications. Seeing these qualified Pokémon, Lin Mo couldn't arouse breeder's interest. After all, he didn't come to this area to buy Pokémon eggs, but to buy an incubator for Doran Messia. Lin Mo looked towards the incubator on the shelf. Common incubator, which protects Pokémon eggs from the outside world, for 10,000 alliance coins. Intermediate incubator, simulates the natural environment, constant temperature, can reduce the incubation time by 30%, protect Pokémon eggs from many external damage. The price is 50,000 alliance coins. Advanced incubator, simulating a secret environment, can reduce incubation time by 50%, and has constant temperature, shock absorption. The price is 100,000 alliance coins. This time Lin Mo didn't hesitate at all, and directly bought the most expensive advanced incubator, the price of which was as high as 100,000 alliance coins. Bought it without blinking an eye. After all, in addition to reducing incubation time, advanced incubators are also the best at protecting Pokémon eggs. This is 6 vs Quasi-God Pokémon egg, if something goes wrong with the hatch, it's okay. So Lin Mo directly pulled the protection to the top, even if this advanced incubator fell from the 10th floor. The Pokémon eggs inside won't have any problems either. Of course, this is what the merchant said, and Lin Mo himself will definitely not try it. Only fools try it. After some shopping, the price of the items Lin Mo purchased back and forth has reached as high as 200,000 alliance coins. Lin Mo took 6 more Pokeballs and put them in the shopping cart, each with 200 alliance coins. Compared with these things bought today, it is not expensive. Lin Mo walked to the checkout counter with the shopping basket and started to line up for the checkout. At this time, the shelf with a small souvenir hanging on the side attracted Pikachu's attention. Pikachu looked at a hat with bright eyes, red and black colors, and a pattern similar to Pokeball in the middle. It hit Pikachu's heart right away. Pika pick up. Pikachu grabbed Lin Mo's hair and motioned Lin Mo to look over there. A red and black hat appeared in front of Lin Mo. Seeing the shining eyes of Pikachu, Lin Mo suddenly had a bad feeling in his heart. Advertisement swallowing, he tentatively asked Pikachu, Pikachu, you don't want that hat, do you? Didn't I just vomit something bad in the morning? As for really wanting a hat. Pika pick up. Pikachu nodded excitedly, his big dark eyes full of anticipation. Lin Mo looked at Pikachu and said speechlessly, what kind of hat do you wear with a Pikachu? You're just playing possibly. A grudge surged in Lin Mo's heart, and the familiar system prompt sounded in his ears. Obtain negative emotion value plus 20 from Lin Mo. Obtain negative emotion value plus 20 from Lin Mo. Normally, Lin Mo would definitely buy a hat with a wave of his hand. After all, how much money can a hat make? But now Lin Mo not only has to guarantee the food expenses for himself and Pikachu, but also considers the unborn Doranmesha at home. Today, it cost more than 200,000 yuan just to purchase the necessities of their 2 Pokémon. Who knows what will be needed later? Lin Mo rejected Pikachu sternly, no, we have to spend money on the handle of the knife, on the edge of the knife. Pikachu immediately showed a disappointed expression, and then he kept rubbing his cheek against Lin Mo's cheek as if to please normal. The big dark eyes blinked innocently a few times, if someone is a little weak-minded. I'm afraid I will be cute by Pikachu immediately and buy the hat. No. No. Lin Mo shook his head, I didn't dare to go to see Pikachu, for fear of being turned into a bud by Pikachu. He looked at the cash register directly in front of him without squinting. Pika. Seeing Lin Mo's resolute look, Pikachu also knew that the hat might be gone today. Sitting on Lin Mo's shoulders in despair, with his ears down, his expression was slightly sad from the back. Lin Mo glanced at Pikachu on his shoulder from the corner of his eye, and found that Pikachu was sitting on his shoulder without saying a word. His expression was full of disappointment, and he couldn't bear it in his heart. After all, strictly speaking, Pikachu was his first Pokémon. And he also likes his well-behaved Pikachu, compared with Ash's Pikachu. At least my own Pikachu doesn't have discharge electricity. Originally seeing that Pikachu was drawn, Lin Mo was ready to be shocked by Pikachu. In the end, seeing Pikachu's appearance, Lin Mo still couldn't bear it, and walked towards the row of hats. Put the hat chosen by Pikachu on Pikachu's head. After all, how much is a hat, and there should be close to 100,000 alliance coins after checking out. Enough for Pikachu and himself for the rest of the meal. Lin Mo pretended to have nothing to do with Pikachu and said. Advertisement. Oh. I really admire you. Who made me your trainer? I bought it for you this time, so don't do it next time. Pikachu felt his head sinking, looked up and found that his favorite hat was already on his head. The haze on his face was swept away immediately, and he kept rubbing against the charm of Lin Mo's cheek. Feeling the soft touch on his face, Lin Mo felt his heart throbbing. He continued calmly, don't do this next time. As a mature Pokémon, you must listen to trainer carefully. This time Pikachu will wear a hat, which is okay. Next time Lin Mo is afraid that Pikachu will come to restore the classics and meet Arceus. It's okay to cosplay, but my constitution can't become a mega rookie. If it really electrifies Arceus, then Lin Mo can only say. Pokémon behavior, please do not rise to trainer individual, disassociated with Pikachu. There was no one in the store, and it was Lin Mo's turn after a while. It was the shopkeeper who paid the bill. Lin Mo looked at the shopkeeper feeling a little panicked. The uncle thought about it for a long time, but he couldn't think of where he had seen Lin Mo, so he simply didn't think about it. After scanning the ear products purchased by Lin Mo on the machine, he said lightly, a total of 250,000 alliance coins, credit card or cash. Lin Mo took out Zhu Qin's bank card from his pocket. Brush. Just as I was about to swipe my card, I suddenly stopped. Feeling bad in my heart, my pupils were wide open, and I looked at the shopkeeper uncle in horror and said in surprise, "How many?" 25 alliance coins. The uncle of the shop owner repeated it, then looked at the hat on Pikachu's head, and continued to remind, "The one you wear on your Pikachu head is a Millennium Limited Edition launched by Adidas and the Brave. Moreover, it is made of nanomaterials, which can automatically clean up stains and dust. Will not fade, high temperature resistance, current, corrosion. No matter how you fold it, it won't deform. So it will be a little more expensive. Billions, a little bit." Lin Mo immediately looked at Pikachu on his shoulder. The price was really not what it should bear at this age. Pikachu sitting on Lin Mo's shoulder also felt bad. "That, Pikachu, or..." Lin Mo hasn't finished speaking yet. Pikachu immediately put on the hat, jumped off Lin Mo's shoulder, and then ran out of the shop in a hurry. It is no longer that inexperienced little baby who is easy to fool. After getting along with Lin Mo for this period of time, it deeply understands the virtues of its trainer. Chapter 20. Do you call this bargaining? Grab it. Advertisement. Chapter 20. Lin Mo and the shopkeeper looked at the back of Pikachu running out, looked at each other, scratched their heads in embarrassment, and said embarrassingly, "Well, would you believe me if I said I didn't recognize it?" A familiar system prompt sounded continuously in my ear. I don't know whether Lin Mo produced grudge against Pikachu or against the hat of 50,000 alliance coins. Obtain negative emotion value plus 20 from Lin Mo. Obtain negative emotion value plus 20 from Lin Mo. At this moment, the uncle owner's heart skipped a beat, and he kept looking up and down at Lin Mo. I thought, is this kid out of money? Don't know that Pikachu yet? Standing on your shoulders. You tell me you don't know me? When I am Jedi's hang. Get plus 20 negative emotion value from Li Dachuan, get plus 20 negative emotion value from Li Dachuan. The uncle owner pondered for a while, and then raised his mobile phone to call the police. Lin Mo saw the shopkeeper's uncle dialing the numbers 110 on his mobile phone, and hurriedly stopped him. "Uncle, I have money. I have money. It's just that it can be cheaper." The uncle owner was still a little skeptical at this time, but he still put down the phone in his hand. He said to Lin Mo, "It's okay to wipe a zero for you." Erasure. Lin Mo's eyes lit up when he heard it. "Uncle shopkeeper, is the 15% discount on the opening of the new store in front of your door still worth it?" "Of course it counts. Not only that, but all the promotions in our store count." The uncle owner patted his chest and said, at this moment, the uncle owner has not realized the seriousness of the problem. 15% off for new store opening. 50% off for retweeting moments. 50% off for over 100 likes. 50% off for student ID. 50% off for Pokémon students. 20% off for membership. Lin Mo counts the discounts of various offers on his mobile phone. Every time he read out one word, the store manager's face darkened a little. Get plus 10 negative emotion value from Li Dachuan, get plus 20 negative emotion value from Li Dachuan, get plus 30 negative emotion value from Li Dachuan. Lin Mo ignored the system prompts that kept coming from his ears, and the gloomy face of the store manager who was about to drip. Still counting all kinds of discounts on the phone. Advertisement want to get wool from Lin Mo? His skin can be ripped off by you. Then Lin Mo took the mobile phone and put the calculated price in front of the store manager. After some discounts, what originally cost 250,000 alliance coins only cost 10,834 alliance coins in the end. By the way, Uncle Store Manager, didn't you say that you can still wipe the zero for me? Afterwards, Lin Mo took the mobile phone and erased from 10834, and the number on the mobile phone became 1834 at this moment. Uncle couldn't hold back anymore. Who the hell is wiping zero from the middle? Are you bargaining? This is clearly a robbery. However, this is not the end. Lin Mo also took out a large stack of vouchers from his arms. The smallest denomination is 5 alliance coins and the largest is 100 alliance coins. The pile that Lin Mo took out was more than 10 centimeters thick. Lin Mo moved a stool and sat down leisurely. Start counting the vouchers slowly. 1 for 5 alliance coins, 1 for 100 alliance coins, 2 for 100 alliance coins. Get plus 50 negative emotion value from Li Dachuan, get plus 50 negative emotion value from Li Dachuan, Get plus 50 negative emotion value from Li Dachuan. The uncle owner looked at the thick stack of vouchers in front of Lin Mo, and now he finally remembered. Lin Mo, aren't you the one who came to me to work part-time before, the one who gave out 3-day coupons? I said to myself, why so many vouchers were issued and no one came, and my feelings were hidden by you alone. Uncle, don't talk nonsense. Be careful, I will sue you for defamation. Seeing that he was found, Lin Mo didn't panic at all, and continued to sit on the chair and count his vouchers. Stop counting, I still have to pay you for counting like this, right? Lin Mo nodded confidently and blinked his big innocent eyes twice. It seems to ask the uncle of the shopkeeper again, shouldn't it? The shopkeeper is about to cry now, where did this evil star come from? Just have trouble with yourself, right? He started to distribute discount coupons by himself, and he came and directly handed out the coupons. He also paid his 3 days' wages for nothing. Now with such a thick stack of coupons to spend, I guess this store will give it to him. Is there any reason? Of course, the most important thing is that the uncle of the shop owner didn't expect that Lin Mo didn't go to distribute the vouchers at all, but did it all by himself. Advertisement. Who would have imagined that normal people would stop buying vouchers once they got 1 or 2? How could Lin Mo take the sheep away like this? The shopkeeper's uncle looked at Lin Mo with resentful eyes, just like the little daughter-in-law Normal who was bullied by her husband. She timidly hid behind the cashier, and didn't dare to speak or look, for fear that Lin Mo would open her mouth to rob him. No, he was more than a robber. Others only want money in robbery, but he wants both money and things. Most importantly, he still uses the voucher you issued to rob. This Bobby 0 yuan purchase is too much. Finally, Lin Mo left the breeder house under the eyes of the shopkeeper who was about to kill. After a friendly negotiation by the shop owner, Lin Mo didn't get any money in the end. Instead, he left all his vouchers in the breeder house. Only at the price of 170,000 alliance coins, all these things were brought out. At the entrance of the breeding house, Pikachu was waiting for Lin Mo wearing a hat. Pikachu, cute.jpg. Lin Mo couldn't be angry when he saw Pikachu, after all, he was a Pokémon raised by himself. Pikachu got his favorite hat, and became very well behaved at this time. After seeing Lin Mo, he jumped directly onto Lin Mo's shoulder, and kept rubbing his cheek against Lin Mo. Lin Mo is not only not angry about this, he even wants to reward Pikachu with a cheese stick. As for why reward it? If it weren't for Pikachu's insistence on buying that hat, Lin Mo would never have had such a big resentment. You won't sit there and haggle the price with the boss for a long time, and the boss won't lose so badly. Boss, I will really thank you. Lin Mo took out a cheese stick from his pocket and handed it to Pikachu. Pikachu glanced at the cheese stick in Lin Mo's hand, then looked up at Lin Mo again. There was a gudong in the throat, and he swallowed. Didn't I just buy a slightly more expensive hat? But you don't have to be poisoned. Pika pick up. Pikachu hugged Lin Mo's neck, his big dark eyes were moist. Promise yourself that you will be absolutely obedient in the future. Lin Mo also instantly understood what was going on, felt a little helpless, and asked Pikachu, do I look like such a heartless person? After hesitating for a while, Pikachu shook his head first, then nodded again. Pick up pickups. There are, but definitely not many. Advertisement. Chapter 21. Pikachu heard left and right, and after repeated confirmation, he was sure that Lin Mo hadn't poisoned the cheese stick. Xiao Guizi took the cheese stick from Lin Mo's hand, held the cheese stick and gnawed on it. Elegance is elegance. Shiba Inu's happy skin is the sense of sight, Lin Mo, who has no conscience. I bought you a cheese stick with good intentions, but you still suspect that you poisoned it. Lin Mo was about to speak to teach Pikachu a few words, but a system prompt sounded in his ear. 1.8 kilometers ahead, we found Flash Ralts. A few large characters of red popped up in front of his eyes. Lin Mo looked at the message popped up by the system with a little surprise on his face. Ralts. Or Flash. Ralts are the original form of Gardevoir, like this rare Pokémon. Basically, they will only appear in high-level secret realms, and wild Ralts are basically invisible in the human world. What's more, this Ralts is still Flash. The probability of shiny Pokémon being born is only 1 in 10,000, even lower. On the surface, it's just a different color. But in the real world, shiny Pokémon is a one-in-a-kind variant of common Pokémon. Not only is its species strength generally higher than that of its peers, but it is also extremely talented. This talent should be more obvious in the animation. Shiny Pokémon has a unique talent that common Pokémon does not have. For example, in the early animation settings of Dos Gyarados, he is not afraid of electric skills. Master Lance, your Gyarados is not legal, funny. The Crystal Onyx in the animation special chapter overcomes the common problem of the rock Pokémon being afraid of water. You can swim in the sea, which is the origin of Surf Onyx. Although the subsequent official abolished the statement of Crystal Onyx Flash, it is not difficult to see the special features of Flash Pokémon. Even the follow-up Hone Champion Dahu's signature Pokémon Flash Metagross, in the special chapter of the comics, the Hone Champion used Flash Metagross to fight Groudon and Kyogre for 3 days and 3 nights, and finally died of exhaustion. It's not hard to see what's special about shiny Pokémon, and now a Flash Ralts appears near Lin Mo. How could Lin Mo not be excited? If Ralts doesn't have a trainer yet, he must have it. If Ralts has a trainer, it is also very good to increase your knowledge. No matter how bad it is, you can also post a moments to pretend to be a wave. No, it is to harvest a wave of negative emotions. Lin Mo's heart felt hot, and following the system's prompt, he came to the place where Ralts was. A tightly covered shop, almost no light penetrates in, and a small pink lamp is lit in the middle, and the signboard at the door of the shop is also the pink color of a girl. Shat. Neiduo Shampoo Room. Advertisement. Lin Mo looked at the signboard at the entrance of the store, and was a little stunned. There is such a store? For shampooing? There was a hint of Marsh Tomp's blank expression on Lin Mo's face. Marsh Tomp surprised. JPG. Lin Mo touched his hair, as if it really should be washed. Take Pikachu into the shampoo room. As soon as he walked in, Lin Mo smelled a bad perfume in the air. The smell was a bit pungent, and Pikachu on his shoulder was also irritated by the smell and covered his nose. There was no one in the room, only a small pink lamp, and the overall layout was a bit messy. At this time, a beautifully dressed woman in very cool clothes came down from the second floor. The nearly 10-centimeter high heels made a da-da sound on the stairs with every step. When the woman saw Lin Mo, her eyes lit up immediately, like a hungry wolf seeing a fresh lamb. Normal. He looked Lin Mo up and down, and then walked towards Lin Mo, hugging Lin Mo's arm with enthusiasm. His voice was as gentle as possible. Little big brother. First time washing your hair. Lin Mo just felt as if something was on his arm. Turning her head, she could see the gorgeous makeup on her face. Lin Mo secretly swallowed a mouthful of saliva and said, "Yes, yes." The young lady in cool clothes was overjoyed when she saw Lin Mo like this. Unexpectedly, it was the first time for Lin Mo to come to this kind of place. In addition, Lin Mo is 1.8 meters tall, and he looks so handsome. This is simply the present God gave me. Breathing orchid into Lin Mo's ear, he said softly, "We can wash any hair here." Lin Mo felt the hot air blowing from his ears, and raised his eyes to look at the young lady in cool clothes. I saw her winking eyes like silk, and her pink tongue kept licking her delicate red lips. Seeing this scene, Lin Mo is not an innocent little boy. He immediately reacted in 2 lifetimes. Lin Mo instantly understood what was going on here. This is the gentle hometown that makes every man intoxicated in legendary. Wisely Marsh Tomp has already detected everything. JPG. A drop of cold sweat instantly fell on Lin Mo's forehead. Good guy. Now that I am the successor of socialism and the flower of the alliance, how can I be corrupted by this kind of place? If he did such a thing, how could he just go to the breakfast shop to re-ketchup for nothing? Advertisement then. So Lin Mo followed the young lady to the second floor. Do not misunderstand. Lin Mo has not forgotten his purpose of coming here. Find the Flash Ralts. Now it seems that Ralts may not be easy to find in this kind of place. We can only procrastinate for time before looking for it. Fortunately, the young lady who pulled Lin Mo up was not in a hurry, but just whispered in Lin Mo's ear, "I'll change clothes first," and left. Lin Mo first observed the layout here, and then began to look for the location of Ralts. Pikachu, watch out for me, and tell me if that woman comes back. Pikachu, you obviously enjoyed it. Stop talking nonsense, go. Otherwise, I'll take your hat back and return it now. Uncle Store Manager, thank you. When Pikachu heard that Lin Mo was going to take off his hat, he immediately jumped off Lin Mo's shoulder and began to help Lin Mo. Lin Mo began to search for Ralts' location in the corridor on the second floor. Is it here? Lin Mo pushed open a door, and a shrill female voice came from inside. Ah! A bald, fat man was lying on the bed enjoying a woman's massage, and he was quite frightened when Lin Mo suddenly pushed the door in. The fat all over his body trembled violently. Sorry, you guys continue. Seeing this scene, Lin Mo immediately closed the door and prepared to go to the next room. Ah! Stinky boy, you want to die? Hurry up, honey. Master Investigator, I didn't do anything. She's just my sister. In the growl of chickens and dogs, Lin Mo opened 4 or 5 doors one after another, but did not find Ralts. However, a lot of negative emotions have been collected. Obtained from Li Dabing's negative emotion value plus 50. Obtained from Wang Dachuan's negative emotion value plus 50. Obtained from Lu Xiaoang's negative emotion value plus 50. Advertisement. Chapter 22. At this moment, Lin Mo met the woman from before. The woman changed into a cooler pajamas and saw some doubts on Lin Mo's face. Little big brother, what are you doing here? Lin Mo looked at the looming tulle pajamas on the woman, and scratched his head in embarrassment. Then he looked towards Pikachu behind him. No, do you want me to keep watch? Pikachu also understood what Lin Mo meant, and spread his paws helplessly. You are almost blowing this place up, how can I help you? The young lady took Lin Mo's arm and pretended to be teasing, Little big brother, how do you want to play? What's in this? Lin Mo scratched his head, his face full of embarrassment, now he just wants to delay the time to find Ralts. Well, there are everything, 1,000 for common 10,000 for special. The young lady kept blowing hot air in Lin Mo's ear, and Lin Mo felt a little hot in his heart. I hastily recited the core values of socialism in my heart, as well as the latest criminal law promulgated by the Alliance, to extinguish the flame of desire in my heart. When I came back to my senses, I was even more surprised when I heard this outrageous asking price. You are driving up the price. It is completely disrupting the market. If you follow, wouldn't that allow the majority of compatriots to be exploited? No. I will never obey, and dare to say no to the dark forces. Miss, I'm still a student, so I'm so shy. Lin Mo turned his head away and said with some embarrassment. After hearing Lin Mo's words, the young lady was a little surprised. He looked Lin Mo up and down again, and the light in his eyes became even brighter. After some hesitation, then it seemed that he had made up his mind, and Normal asked tentatively, Little big brother, the 500. The young lady stretched out 5 fingers, looking at Lin Mo's handsome face, she couldn't help feeling a little excited. Lin Mo looked at the young lady with a slight smile on the corner of his mouth. Since you can negotiate the price, then you are welcome. The young lady didn't know at this time that Lin Mo was standing in front of her with an innocent face. But just after robbing a shop, Jiangnan Bargain King, a man referred to as Jiangnan Bargain King. Look, little sister, I'm here in broad daylight, am I not? You don't have many people during the day, right? Everyone's karaoke halls have daytime prices. Lin Mo reasoned with the young lady, who was a little taken aback. Is there no one in broad daylight? Then he looked towards the rooms behind Lin Mo, and all the men inside had already left. Only the woman was left to tidy up, and the young lady looked at the empty rooms and nodded numbly. There seemed to be something wrong in my heart, but I still subconsciously felt that what Lin Mo said made sense. After all, everyone is gone now. Then he said to Lin Mo, the 400, I will give you a friendship price. If it weren't for Lin Mo's handsome looks, and it was the first time she came to this kind of place, she would never accept the price of 400. Lin Mo did not waver, and seemed to be somewhat dissatisfied with the price, and continued, let me analyze the cost for you. In your place, it's only 20 alliance coins at most, right? Advertisement, and I brought this too. Lin Mo took out a small square box from his pocket, and shook it in front of the young lady. Durex Ultra Thin? 0.01? A pack, this is what Lin Mo got in the lottery before. It just happened to be installed on the body, but I didn't expect it to come in handy here. The young lady looked at what Lin Mo took out, and was speechless for a while, who would bring this when going out? Moreover, how can there be such a bargain? At this time, Lin Mo's ear has already heard the sound of the young lady's mental breakdown. Obtain negative emotion value plus 50 from Su Baibei, obtain negative emotion value plus 50 from Su Baibei, obtain negative emotion value plus 50 from Su Baibei. Lin Mo grinned when he heard the prompt in his ear, and continued, tell me, where is your cost? It costs 400 alliance coins. The little sister was speechless for a while, and patted her chest. Me? People always want me to pay. Who knows? Lin Mo shook his head and continued, we are in love together, happiness is our business. How can I bear the cost alone? Young lady. The last time I was so speechless was the last time. The young lady gritted her silver teeth and held back her anger and said, according to what you say, I have to give you money, right? Lin Mo blinked innocently, he didn't expect the people on this commercial street to be so reasonable. Then he nodded solemnly. The young lady was so angry that Lin Mo was about to cry. She asked Lin Mo in a crying voice, little big brother, are you from the Golduck store next door? The last prostitute is still lying in the hospital. I didn't expect Lin Mo to go too far. He not only wants to prostitute for nothing, but also wants to make money from himself. If it wasn't for Lin Mo's face that made her unable to slap her, she would have slapped Lin Mo's face long ago. At this time, a young lady wearing a JK uniform was already listening to the conversation between the two. Seeing that the negotiations between Lin Mo and the lady in front of him broke down, Miss JK rushed out, pulled Lin Mo and said, little big brother, 50 alliance coins. I only need 50 alliance coins. Seeing Miss JK rushing out suddenly, the previous lady's face froze, she clenched her silver teeth and said angrily, Lin Meowth. Are you crazy poor? You take 50 bucks. Oh. Idle is idle, anyway, the little big brother is so handsome, I'm not at a disadvantage. Miss JK threw a wink at Lin Mo. In my heart, I was secretly competing with another one. Such a handsome little big brother, we can't let her take the lead. Su Baibai looked at Lin Meowth with rage on his face. It's obvious that I came first, but you still want to cut me off halfway? Obtain negative emotion value plus 50 from Su Baibai, obtain negative emotion value plus 50 from Su Baibai, obtain negative emotion value plus 50 from Su Baibai. 40, I only want 40. Su Baibai clenched her silver teeth and looked towards Lin Mo advertisement. Lin Mo was a little confused, what's going on? How do you feel that you are the one selling it? Can you have some professional ethics? I really just want to procrastinate. Before Lin Mo could speak, Lin Meowth beside him took the lead in attacking. You still say I'm poor and crazy. You pick up at 40. I only want 30. I'm 20. I get 10 alliance coins. I don't want money. I'm back. Lin Mo, okay. Lin Mo couldn't help it when he heard someone reposting. Make money. Not shabby. Lin Meowth was also dizzy with anger, and actually called out the upside down. At this time, Su Baibai stopped arguing with her. After all, I really can't do it myself. I had no choice but to watch Lin Mo and Lin Meowth walk into the room. Lin Mo followed this Miss Lin Meowth in JK uniform, and was pushed onto the bed. The young lady was about to make a move on Lin Mo and lifted Lin Mo's clothes. But he was caught by Lin Mo, good guy, he was almost defiled by such a good young man. The young lady was a little stunned and looked towards Lin Mo. Don't take off your clothes? I saw Lin Mo's dark eyes were full of clarity, and he looked at the young lady with some doubts. Don't you wash your hair? Why are you lifting my clothes? This time it's Lin Meowth's turn to be confused. You cut the price for a long time there, and you listened to it for a long time to wash your hair? Did you post it yourself to wash your hair? Immediately afterwards, Lin Mo's questions popped up like a cannonball. Don't you take shampoo to wash your hair? Are you a serious shampoo room? At this time, Lin Meowth was completely dumbfounded. The last time it was so outrageous was the last time. Before he could react for a while, Lin Mo was already lying on the shampoo table he usually used for camouflage. Have no choice. Lin Meowth can only bite the bullet. In a sense, this is the first time the shampoo station has opened. Obtain negative emotion value plus 20 from Lin Meowth. Obtain negative emotion value plus 20 from Lin Meowth. Obtain negative emotion value plus 20 from Lin Meowth. Is there anyone else watching? If there is, I will release 20 more chapters. Is anyone else watching? If not, I'll ask again later. If so, more than 30 comments, updated 5 times a day. More than 50 comments, updated 6 times a day. That is it. No need to reward flowers or anything. Advertisement. Chapter 23. Wow! With the opening of the shower head, just the right amount of warm water poured on Lin Mo's head. Is the water temperature okay? Well, just right. Then the young lady began to wash Lin Mo's hair, and Lin Mo also took the opportunity to ask, you guys call this Gardevoir shampoo room, do you really have Gardevoir? Lin Mo, who is a time traveler, really wonders if anyone will have children with Pokémon? When the young lady saw Lin Mo's student appearance, she was not wary. He replied directly, yes. Our signature Gardevoir is very expensive. The implication is that Lin Mo can't afford it. Lin Mo didn't care, and continued to ask curiously, isn't Gardevoir in a high-level secret realm? Your store manager is an elite trainer. This world secret realm is also divided into many levels, which are 6 levels from S to E. Level E is a fully developed rift. Level D is a semi-developed secret realm, some of which are undeveloped areas. Level C and above are completely undeveloped secret realms. As the level of the secret realm increases, its danger will also increase. As for the rare Pokémon like Gardevoir, normal can only be encountered in undeveloped areas. Because once it is discovered, it will be a crazy robbery. Totally impossible to find in developed areas. The strength of this store manager is definitely not weak. Maybe it was because of the signboard in the store. The young lady didn't think too much, and said to Lin Mo, I don't know about trainer either. I only know that Gardevoir was accidentally caught by the store manager. Hearing this, Lin Mo paused a bit. Gardevoir's strength should not be low, and there are very few cases of being captured by human trainers. Because Gardevoir can use telepathy to perceive the malice and kindness of human beings, and also possesses the magical skill of teleport. Under normal circumstances, it should not be caught. However, this is not the main purpose of Lin Mo's visit. Lin Mo continued to insinuate and ask, that Gardevoir with Arnold points. After finishing speaking, Lin Mo also compared the height of Ralts. The young lady was dumbfounded. Lin Mo took a look, and saw that this student had no common knowledge about Pokémon, so he said angrily, advertisement just one Gardevoir, Gardevoir is very precious, how can there be more? After hearing this sentence, Lin Mo just nodded and didn't say anything more. He could tell that women didn't seem to be lying, so even she didn't know where the Ralts were. Thinking of this, Lin Mo frowned suddenly, thinking about the layout of the entire second floor in his mind. There are many doubts about this matter. Even if Gardevoir is seriously injured and captured, he should still be able to escape. As long as Psychic is around, teleport escape is not a problem at all. Besides, since the opponent can capture Gardevoir, their strength must not be low. Just relying on ourselves and Pikachu, we definitely can't deal with each other. I need support, and Lin Mo keeps thinking about his teammates who can support him. The sea? Lin Mo first thought of his best friend, Li Hanhai. It's just that this idea was immediately rejected by Lin Mo. Li Hanhai has no Earl Dervish Pokémon at all, and his combat power is 0. Why did I think of him? Could it be because of Gardevoir? Zukan teacher? No, although he is his class teacher, he is not a trainer. It is too dangerous for common people to participate in this kind of battle. Besides, once Zhu Qin was called, how could he explain that he would come to such a place? Could it be possible to tell her that she has a system? Then Zhu Qin has to believe it. Lin Mo now understands what it means to have multiple friends and multiple paths. At this moment, there are only 2 people that Lin Mo can think of. And they're all slags with no fighting power. Lin Mo pondered for a while, and suddenly a flash of light came to his mind. How to forget them? Lin Mo sat up from the shampoo table, crystal drops of water still remained on the ends of her hair. The young lady was stunned by the delicate face, and her heart suddenly became hot. Lin Mo brand wet hair kill. Little big brother, why don't we do something that adults should do? After finishing speaking, the young lady also pulled down the uniform on her chest, which was self-evidently provocative. Lin Mo took a look, and there is such a good thing? No, there are such bad things. As a good socialist youth, I naturally want to severely criticize this kind of scandalous thing. Immediately delaying time, he said, okay. Advertisement. However, I still have a friend. I asked him to come over and ask him to pay me. He's rich. When the little sister heard it, she didn't hear anything. He just nodded, and the smile on his face grew stronger. After all, no one wants to be prostitute for nothing. At first glance, Lin Mo belongs to the kind of student party who have no money, and they have to bargain for 400 yuan. If someone takes advantage of Lin Mo and pays Lin Mo, the young lady will be happy before it's too late. immediately said to Lin Mo, I'm going to take a shower and change clothes first, you ask your friend to come quickly. After finishing speaking, the young lady walked out of the room with her waist twisted coquettishly. And Lin Mo also picked up the phone and dialed the numbers 110 on the phone. After all, as the saying goes, the enemy of my enemy is my friend, strike out. If you're having trouble, call investigator uncle. As a good young man under the influence of socialism, Lin Mo naturally hates this kind of behavior. Lin Mo dialed the phone, and a deep male voice came from the other end of the phone. Hello, Alliance Investigator Jiangnan Branch. Investigator uncle, I report that someone has committed Pokémon crimes in the Gardevoir shampoo at number 38 Jiangnan Commercial Street. After Lin Mo told the search officer the exact address, he quickly hung up the phone. Now he's running out of time, he needs to find Ralts and get him out before the Pokémon inspector arrives. After receiving the alarm from Lin Mo, he also immediately left for the place Lin Mo said. After all, Pokémon crime is a very serious act in this world. If Pokémon accidentally runs away, the terrifying force can easily take human life. Su Pingan said hello to the police officers around him, and took more than 10 investigators to the commercial street. Lin Mo took Pikachu out of the room and continued to search for Ralts. After wandering around just now, Lin Mo has already remembered the layout of the second floor in his mind. And basically everyone has left, and there are basically no people in the room on the second floor. Lin Mo didn't have to be afraid of being discovered by others, and quickly searched the rest of the rooms. Finally, in the corner room Lin Mo heard growl faintly. Lalo, this is growl by Ralts. Gardevoir's growl was also heard from the next room, and Gardevoir was locked in the next room. Lin Mo looked around and looked into the room where Ralts was held through the crack of the door. Advertisement. Chapter 24. Inside the room. A pale blue Ralts is being chained up with a collar around its neck and held by a chain. Lin Mo immediately understood why the owner of this store was able to grab Ralts and Gardevoir. This kind of collar has been mentioned in the textbook, and it is a psychic collar that can imprison Pokémon. If imprisoned, Super Pokémon cannot use Psychic, so this thing is also banned by Alliance. Basically only found within Pokémon poaching groups. It seems that this incident is much more serious than I imagined. Lin Mo sighed, thankful that he didn't open the door hastily. Can lock Ralts with this kind of collar, the owner of this store must not be normal. Such a rare and precious Pokémon must have an alarm device. Lin Mo looked through the crack of the door, sure enough, a monitor and an alarm device were found in a corner. I'm afraid that as soon as I open the door, the alarm in the room will sound. At that time, I can't run even if I want to run. Lin Mo looked around anxiously, looking for any way to rescue Ralts. Pikachu. Can you blow this up with Thunderbolt? Lin Mo glanced at Pikachu, and asked Pikachu on his shoulder thoughtfully. As long as the entire second floor is blown up, it seems that Ralts can also be saved. Pikachu, Sigma, who are the criminals? Obtain negative emotion value plus 50 from Pikachu, obtain negative emotion value plus 50 from Pikachu. Pika pickup. Pikachu hurriedly pointed to the ventilation duct on his finger, indicating that he could climb in and rescue Ralts. Lin Mo looked at the ventilation duct above his head, and immediately understood what was happening, and hurriedly said to Pikachu, that's right. I thought so too. Since we all thought of the same idea, why don't you hurry up? Pikachu, I paid too much for world peace. Time is running out. Pikachu didn't bother to complain, and burrowed towards the opening of the ventilation duct. After a while, they came to Ralts' room. Pick up! Pick up! Shouted softly to the Ralts in the room. Lalu! Ralts heard the voice coming from the room, raised his head with some doubts, and searched the room. Advertisement. Finally, at the opening of the ventilation duct, I saw Pikachu. Pikachu, tell the Ralts we can take it away. At this time, Lin Mo's voice came from the ventilation duct, and Lin Mo whispered to the end where Pikachu got into. The Ralts in the room naturally also heard Lin Mo's voice, and turned their heads away in disdain. Lalu. In its view, human beings are all bad and not to be trusted. Pika pickup. Lin Mo is not a bad guy. Seeing Ralts' appearance, Pikachu defended Lin Mo. Although his trainer has no conscience, he can't do such an outrageous thing. Should I? If you ignore the fact that Lin Mo just tried to blow up the entire second floor. Lalu. Pick up. The two Pokémon just started arguing like bickering. It's just that Lin Mo couldn't hear what they were saying clearly. Lin Mo continued to speak to Pikachu towards the ventilation duct. Pikachu, you tell Ralts that the collar around his neck locks his psychic. Ask it if it can take us out with a teleport if you unhook it from its collar. After all, breaking Ralts' collar would set off the alarm. There's no way Pikachu is rival of the shopkeeper. And the alliance prohibits private fighting, because in the human world, there is no secret energy to protect Pokémon. If you fight, it is extremely easy to cause the death of Pokémon. The battle can only go to the secret realm, or the battlefield certified by the alliance. It is protected by the energy of the secret realm, and the Pokémon will only fall into the dying contest condition in the battle, and it will die if it continues to attack. It perfectly protects the safety of Pokémon. If Ralts doesn't want to take himself and Pikachu away, then Lin Mo can only give up the Flash Ralts and go back to wait for the search officer's rescue. After all, Lin Mo doesn't want to put Pikachu in danger for a Pokémon that has nothing to do with him. Inside the room, Pikachu is still arguing with Ralts. The two Pokémon have just come to this world not long ago, and their minds are immature. It sounds like elementary school students arguing, very funny. Pick up. Lin Mo is not a bad guy. Lalu. That's the bad guy. Pick up. Not. Lalu. Yes. Pi. Pikachu. At most, a little heartless. Advertisement. Finally, Pikachu got a little discouraged. Ralts is too wary of humans, even his own Pokémon can't persuade it. Looking at the chained Ralts with collars around their necks, Pikachu had some pity in his eyes. Bought Lin Mo for himself, threw the unfinished cheese stick to Ralts through the ventilation duct. In the end there was no arguing with the Ralts either. Pick up. This is for you. Lin Mo has called other people to rescue you, I hope you can escape one day. Lalu. Ralts looked at the cheese stick in front of him, and looked at Pikachu with some doubts. But I am a little envious in my heart. Do human trainers still buy snacks for Pokémon? Ralts picked up the cheese stick from the floor and took a light bite. This taste, sour and sweet, is a bit strange. Compared with the food I usually eat, the taste is not delicious. But Ralts ate it in one bite, feeling a surge of warmth in his heart. Lalu. Ralts stopped Pikachu, who turned around and was about to leave. Lalu. I'm going out with you guys, but I want to eat this. Ralts said to Pikachu, waving the cheese stick in his hand. Without thinking about it, Pikachu nodded to Ralts to help Lin Mo agree. After all, they're here to save the Ralts. It's not your own money anyway. Let your trainer worry about money. Lin Mo, listen to me, thank you. Pikachu jumped out of the ventilation duct directly, and the moment he landed, the alarm in the room also remembered. A piercing siren sounded throughout the second floor. Anyway, it has been exposed. Lin Mo didn't care so much at this time, and yelled at the crack of the door, Pikachu, hurry up. Use the iron tail to break Ralts' collars and chains. Skin. A dazzling silver and white metallic light suddenly appeared from the tail behind Pikachu, smashing towards Ralts' chain and collar with a sound of piercing through the air. The chain around Ralts' neck was easily broken. As for the collar, Pikachu worries that iron tail will hurt the Ralts. Gently touching the collar with his paw, a weak current was released, shorting the collar on Ralts' head. Click! Ralts' collar undid from the middle and fell to the ground. Pikachu was about to run out of the ventilation duct with Ralts in his arms, but Ralts grabbed him. There was a light purple light all over his body, and the incomparably powerful psychic was vividly displayed at this moment. In just a split second, the collars and chains on the ground were all reduced to dust. It seemed that Ralts hated these two things that blocked him. Advertisement. Chapter 25. The light and shadow kept changing, and Pikachu was in a trance. Just for a moment, they came to Lin Mo. Looking at the sudden appearance of Ralts and Pikachu, Lin Mo was startled at first, and then reacted immediately. This is Ralts' teleport, showing a gentle smile to Ralts. Putting his hand in front of Ralts, his voice was as gentle as possible, hello. Ralts, my name is Lin Mo, would you like to come with me? Before Ralts could answer, a rough voice interrupted Lin Mo's words. Go? Do you still want to go? The person who came was a middle-aged man who was tall and thick, wearing a white old man's shirt. With various tattoos on his chest and back, he looks very fierce. If there is no accident, this middle-aged man with a fierce face is the owner of this shop. Ralts looked at the man and seemed taken aback by the malice radiating from the man. Subconsciously shrinking into Lin Mo's arms, Lin Mo saw Ralts like this. Normal seemed to be hit by something heavy in his heart, and it twitched violently. Looking at Ralts with some compassion in his eyes, he said distressedly, "Don't worry, he will get the punishment he deserves soon." At this time, the young lady in JK uniform also heard the siren on the second floor and came out. He looked at Lin Mo, who was confronting the owner with some confusion. Lin Mo also saw the young lady and didn't care. He just hugged Ralts in his arms and continued to the shopkeeper, "Boss, I called a friend to join you. If you want to wash your hair, just ask him for it." "You're welcome, my name is Lei Feng." Then, a shrill siren sounded downstairs. Several police cars had already blocked the intersection downstairs, and it was impossible for them to escape. The young lady looked at the several police cars downstairs and the rows of Alliance investigators in a daze. "The friend you mentioned is the Alliance investigator." Advertisement. The owner of the store was also furious. "It's okay for this kid to prstut for nothing, but he is still called Alliance investigator. And he also robbed Ralts, this is his plan to be black and black." The more the shopkeeper thought about it, the more angry he took out the pokeball from his arms and threw it at Lin Mo. A purple boa constrictor appeared in front of Lin Mo, its appearance was so frightening that the Ralts in his arms couldn't help shrinking into Lin Mo's arms. Pikachu was standing on Lin Mo's shoulder, comforting Ralts non-stop. "Arbor Snake, use Poison Barb. The owner of the store has no intention of letting Lin Mo leave here alive, after all, they are Flash Ralts." In his eyes, this Pokémon was more important than Lin Mo's life. What's more, after solving Lin Mo in front of him and getting Ralts, he will have a chance to go out. Arbor Snake has a big mouth, wide enough to swallow a person. The poisonous glands on his body continuously condensed the venom into his mouth, and spit it out towards Lin Mo in the shape of a needle. Lin Mo looked at the flying poison barb without changing his face, and a smile appeared on the corner of his mouth when he heard the system prompts that kept coming from his ears. Obtain negative emotion value plus 20 from Lin Meowth. Obtained from Zhang Xiaoang's negative emotion value plus 50. Obtain negative emotion value plus 20 from Lin Meowth. Obtained from Zhang Xiaoang's negative emotion value plus 50. Lin Mo calmly said to Ralts, "Ralts, use teleport to send us out." From the beginning, he had planned his escape route. Ralts also understood, and the psychic energy of pale purple enveloped Lin Mo and Pikachu. There are two red horns on the head that resemble normal ears, releasing the terrifying psychic, and the teleport is cast in just a blink of an eye. Lin Mo and Pikachu had left the Gardevoir shampoo room and appeared in front of a bunch of Alliance investigators. Lin Mo bumped into Su Pingan, who had just arrived, and they stared at each other. Finally, Lin Mo felt a little uncomfortable being stared at by so many investigators, scratched his head and said in embarrassment, "Well, investigator uncle, I'm not a bad guy." Su Pingan looked at Lin Mo suspiciously, and vaguely smelled the low-quality perfume on Lin Mo's clothes. Advertisement. He snorted coldly and said, "Oh. Everyone who comes here says so." Hearing Su Pingan's tone, Lin Mo immediately understood that the investigator in front of him must have misunderstood something. Hastily opened his mouth to defend, "I really didn't do anything. Everyone who comes here says that." "Xiao Li. Hold him down for me, I want to search him." Su Pingan didn't believe what Lin Mo said at all, and said to the young investigator beside him. The investigator at the side immediately held Lin Mo down, and Su Pingan searched Lin Mo. "I really didn't do anything bad. Investigator uncle. Pika pick up." Pikachu on the shoulder is also defending Lin Mo. Su Pingan didn't answer, but just searched Lin Mo's pocket. Suddenly his face changed, and he took out a small exquisite box from Lin Mo's pocket. "I still said I didn't do it. You explain to me what this is." In the small box, there are a few large characters. Durex Ultra Thin 0.01 pack. Pikachu saw the box in Su Pingan's hand and patted his head helplessly. "It's not that I didn't report, it's not time yet." Lin Mo wanted to cry without tears, and said to Su Pingan in front of him embarrassingly, "If I said it was, the system gave you a lottery letter." After finishing speaking, Lin Mo innocently blinked his big eyes twice. A familiar system prompt sounded in my ear. Obtain negative emotion value plus 50 from Lin Mo. Obtain negative emotion value plus 50 from Lin Mo. What do you say? Su Pingan didn't accept this at all, and said directly to the young investigator next to him, "Copy it for me." Chapter 26 Artistic Processing of Billions of Points. Advertisement. If you enjoyed this video, Please give it a like and subscribe to the channel so you are notified of future uploads. You can find the next parts in the playlist visible on the screen or on my channel. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.